And we are coming down in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by
Mach
Sheen Washable.
Nah.
The Red Baron.
No.
And special guest, Uncle Bob.
Uncle Bob, yeah.
Very special guest.
Well, I don't know about that.
You listen to
I'm
the
here.
multiple shows available on the PPRN Radio Network. Uncle Bob, a frequent flyer on the Peter Pino Show
That's right.
on Tuesdays and Wednesdays from sometime around 7:30 to sometime around 10:30.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Yeah.
It's like we're sometime around 10 to 1.
Yeah.
Very loose hours. Yeah.
We'll also have another special guest dropping in at the top of the hour.
Yeah.
And at some point, Mojito should be making his way here. He's got a softball game,
He's going to show up all dirty.
so he's going to show up normal.
Yeah.
J-Mart not joining us
Big
today
Cole.
is not his actual birthday. Rebecca's like itching to say that. I could feel the glares coming.
Yeah.
Well, it's not his actual birthday. It's just his birthday party. You knew she was going to say it.
Happy birthday, Cole.
Yep. Cole Beasley.
Ooh.
Write that on the card, like in parentheses.
So yeah, let's. I don't know who had shot trivia. Probably Kendall.
Yeah, I have the knack of. How would you guys like an NFL question?
Just like a Bloody Mary left in the fridge.
Oh yeah, I think we do. Well, let me step out.
Mike, that's gonna.
I didn't see it.
Oh
I
man,
also
someone
didn't look
finish
for
it. I also didn't look for it. Should tell Kyle to stop. Oh no, is it gone? Oh, it's on its side. Oh, even better. Hey, whose Seagram's wine coolers are those? Whose Seagram's wine coolers are those?
Ricky's, yeah.
We should put one of those in there. I'll get her another one from work. I think that would really enhance it.
There is a large
Well,
lump in that.
that sounds like my brother's drink bottle. Anything that he found.
That's what the private stock is.
Private stock.
The private stock right now has got some. It's got some floaties.
There is lumps.
So, admittedly, after each show, past 2 shows, I've gotten sick. I haven't vomited, but I've gotten sick, and I think it's credited to this.
We should stop drinking that.
Well, how long has that been in the fridge?
This is week 3.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
A lot of would you say cream-based
Cream.
liqueurs?
No, it's just one nip of coconut cream rum.
But yeah.
I wouldn't
But
drink
we,
that.
Well,
we
you're
have
gonna.
to. We have
We're all
to,
gonna.
because then we're frauds. We gotta
Yeah.
stick to it.
Yeah, today when I go get in my Jeep, we're gonna see if the private stock bottle's in there because we can't find it, and then we'll make a legitimate private stock, tequila based this time.
Oof.
Tequila and gin.
Ugh.
Yep.
Let's
It'll be
I don't
tasty.
do any white liquor.
I don't either, but that's what's gonna make it great. Actually, I have brown tequila.
Smells the same.
That's just a
means it's
Modelo
bad.
Chelada. Do
Ugh.
you have to chew it yet?
Yuck. Don't much care for that.
Okay.
So real quick, before on the horn, everyone's drinking now. Mach Sr Washable has a theme for the show, but we're gonna dive into that show when his father, the other special guest, arrives, because he's coming in hot from the Czech Republic.
Coming in hot.
So Mach has a Czech-themed beer list for us, but until he gets here, Kendall and I will be drinking other beers. We want to wait for the Czech beers.
Well, I'm drinking one now. So.
Yeah, but it's not a surprise to you. You have them all the time.
And I brought
So
some.
please introduce the Budweiser of Europe to us.
This is not the Budweiser of Europe. This I have. I think this one is from Ostrava in Czech. The Ostravar.
Okay.
Some type of pilsner.
Is there more to it than that? That's what
Can't read the can.
Gotcha.
I know it's good.
What could you insinuate about it?
So it was an airmail package.
My dad, he's in the States right now. He's been here the last couple of weeks, so he brings beers, and it's great.
Yeah.
I have double dipping from previous shows. I have G-Bot.
Is that the remains of the 4-pack you bought?
It is. It is.
Not from the Riddler. What do you call it?
Walmart?
Walmart or the Riddler
Riddler collection.
The Riddler
It's
collection?
not a part of the Riddler collection, but it did get collected out of the Riddler's wallet because he purchased it for him.
Right. So,
And I have from Goose Island in Chicago. Shout out to
Aha.
Uncle Bob.
Yep.
The from their Copper Project series, the Barrel Aged Scotch Ale.
That's
All
good.
right.
So if you guys, if anyone listen, what the hell's a Scotch Ale? You ever heard of Founder's Backwoods Bastard? That's what that is.
Yeah.
Barrel Aged Scotch Ale. Very tasty. I haven't had this one yet, though.
you were very excited. You were telling me about that.
Very high hopes. Very high hopes. Very high hopes.
I
Bob, you
think
drinking
you'll enjoy
coffee?
it. I'm drinking coffee right now. Yeah.
But there's beer to be had.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So we'll get a review.
Unfortunately, I don't have anything fancy today.
That's fine. We've drank 40s on the show. I don't know if you've seen that blue thermos that we've got, but we're not fancy either. So Uncle Bob will be giving us a coffee and beer review at the end of this. I'd like to know where the beans
dark
are roasted from.
Did you want to do our
Toast of excellence.
Toast of Excellence and then shot? All right. You beat me to the punch.
Why would we change it?
I don't know. I had the question up.
This is
That's
like
the only
show
reason.
like what, like 83 or something like that, and
We're getting close.
I think it's 67. It's
Well,
either 67 or
Might
68.
be a little. It could be. I have to look.
there's an 8 in there somewhere.
Is it
You got toast? Toast of excellence?
My toast, I mean, he's not here yet, but I'm going to give it to my dad.
No, it's
Yeah.
gonna be sports related.
Well, it doesn't.
It does.
It doesn't.
It does.
My father got married yesterday.
All right, I'll let it slide this one time.
Here, here.
Shout out.
But in
My
the
dad.
future, this isn't getting sports with dads.
We've done non-sports toasts.
Give me an example.
Cole, when he was born,
That was Jeff. That's different. It's his
it was
kid.
all of us. Jeff wasn't there.
It's funny though. The letters to work GSWD.
Getting sports with
What's
dads.
with
That's why I said it.
I know. I like it. I'm gonna be a homer this week. I'm gonna give it a James Conner.
That terrible haircut.
It's interesting. I'm
Kendall,
not
the
saying
one
it's good.
week you wear a throwback jersey.
I know. That'd be
If
insisting
we end
on
up getting,
myself.
if the internet connection holds up, we get Facebook Live. Kendall's rocking a Houston Oilers Warren Moon
Oh
jersey.
yeah, very excited. This is the first time I've worn it out.
Hey, he found it at Goodwill.
No.
Paul?
Mitchell and Ness.
Gross.
Actually, I think it's NFL shop.
My toast of excellence goes out to Tom Thibodeau, head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Whoa.
My shout out goes to this.
Is that a Skype call?
That's a Skype call. Yeah,
Skype call? Is it Peter?
could be.
I hope it's Kyle. This is really derailing the show here, Reed.
We got Peter. Is Peter on?
Oh, he fell.
Sounds.
Peter just fell down the warehouse stairs.
There he is.
Hey, Peter, I don't know if you can hear us, but dish is better.
All right, Pete. I gotta kill this.
Coming to us live from Hurricane
Let's see,
Florence.
is he on a sailboat?
Yo,
There he is.
I
you hear
can't
us?
see you, pricks.
Well, I can see you. All right, you sound like you're in a jet, so I gotta kill you.
Is it bad?
It's bad.
Are you in a wind tunnel?
Really?
Yeah. All right. We're gonna get the phone going
We're
in
getting the
here.
feedback going now.
Oh, you know what? I gotta turn my radio off. Sorry.
Yeah, that would help. Really?
Hang on.
Okay, Pete. Like you've never
What's
done
up,
this.
boys?
How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good.
We're here with Uncle Bob.
Uncle Bob's here. We're about to do our shot trivia.
He's awake.
He's awake.
Yeah, I actually woke up, but I'm still drinking coffee instead of beer.
For now.
Give it an hour.
That's right.
He'll be warmed up by then.
Peter, what are you
So what are you
drinking?
guys-
What are you drinking on the job today?
Coffee.
Coffee.
We gotta get him some of that private stock.
I had a late night. At the casino last night.
Did you win big?
Yeah, actually, I did. One of my games that I put in $20 in. Within 10 minutes, I won fucking 496 free spins.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah, I ended up getting 700 there, and then I fucking hit another machine for 600. That's why I was fucking late this morning.
he provides the internet for us. But it's not a
I'm
problem.
sorry, dude. I fucking ran late. I work too much, man. I don't fucking have enough time to go out, and I got out at 5 yesterday. So fucking Ricky's like, we should go do something. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's go.
700 spins later.
Yeah, holy fuck, it was fucking pretty cool though.
Excellent.
Hey, I wanted to just call in and say, what's up, guys? What's up, Uncle Bob? And just wish my 18-year-old a happy birthday. And Dad doesn't have to give you child support no more. Woo!
Now that's a real toast excellence right there.
Yeah, take a toast for that from me. And don't forget this Tuesday and Wednesday the show. And then Friday night, we're going to be broadcasting live from Z's Corner Cafe for Heather's birthday party. So come down and check it out. If you can't come down, just come take a listen on the radio.
Yeah.
There we go. We'll hit that again later on in the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Uncle Bob's opening up, too, at 9 o'clock.
That's right. Storytime Bob.
Yeah.
All right, fuckers, stay black.
Stay black, y'all.
And Rebecca says hi.
Oh, hey, Rebecca.
All right, see you later.
Later.
All right, so gotta love Peter. Where were we? Oh, my toast was to the Tom Thibodeau. Yeah, for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Over the past few years of his coaching, he went out and signed Taj Gibson. He signed Jimmy Butler, or got the trade for Jimmy Butler. Signed Derrick Rose, and now they signed the recently bought out Luol Deng.
Yeah. But
now they're just waiting for the Knicks to buy out Joakim Noah.
No, they've already announced they're not going to bring Noah in.
That's because he hasn't been bought out yet. Let's wait until he's bought out. I'm thinking, yup, 100%.
Hey, why not?
They also, which is also very funny about the Timberwolves, is that they have 4 ex-Chicago Bulls on the roster, but they also have 3 people named Dang. They have Gordy Dang, Luol Deng, and then some rookie guy named Dang,
Ding dang.
Dang.
Dang, yeah. Ding-a-lang dang. Uncle Bob, do you have any sports toast excellence or non-sports related?
Well, yeah, to the Cubs relief crew. They lose their top 2 closers, and they're still closing games.
Hey,
Kendall, you should have been to the Mets blanking the
Red Sox.
the
Red Sox,
most recent entrant to the 100-win club
yeah.
without DeGrom on the mound.
Yeah, well, we can hit for anybody else, so.
They should have traded him.
I disagree.
I know you do, but they should have.
Listen, knock on wood, the Mets have played very well down the stretch. If June didn't exist, we're in the playoff picture. But
Unfortunately,
it does.
June was there.
And
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
I think we won 4 games during that month. I think.
All right, toast them, drink them.
Drink if you got 'em.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh.
Save it for the review.
Might have to go down on the break and get the other 2 out of the cup. So we got shot trivia, then we got some breaking news to update on, and then we're gonna talk Uncle Bob. Talking Uncle Bob and sports.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So it was Ed Reed's birthday recently.
Greatest safety to ever play football.
Can't remember what day it
By
was.
far in the AFC
Say it,
North.
Kendall.
He's the greatest safety to ever play in the AFC North.
I will say that he is probably the greatest
Come on, just say
strong safety. I think was he played free safety?
He played a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. I can't remember what his primary position was, but he's pretty darn good.
His primary position was dominant.
Dominant.
It was wherever Ben threw the ball. That's where his main position was.
I'm going to play right there.
All right. So, we're going to see how many interceptions he recorded versus the AFC North. So, for the listeners who don't know, that's the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cleveland Browns, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, keep this in mind, table.
He played for the Texans.
That's right. Ed Reed did play half a season with Houston. So, versus the AFC North, how many interceptions did he record?
Can we get a career breakdown? How long he played? Is that asking too much?
Off the top of my head, I'd have to look.
He had to have played, what, 10,
So he had to have been north of a decade.
Yeah.
Against the AFC North, I'm going to say 21.
I was thinking 22 myself, but yeah.
Yeah, say 22 because then Mach can't go in the middle.
I was in the teens. I was going to say 18.
Right.
Are you guys ready for this?
Yep.
37.
Well, it's 28.
Whoa.
Wow.
28. Now, please correct me if I'm wrong in my math here. 10 versus the Bengals, 12 versus the Browns, which is his career most, and 6 versus the Steelers. Do you have 28 there?
Yep.
So he never picked off the Ravens, huh?
Never picked out the Ravens.
That's sad.
I tried to throw you guys off. It wouldn't really do much.
Well,
They're still-
you would have thrown us off if you didn't say half a season.
Oh, you get a pick in a half a season.
Yeah, but what are the chances they played the Ravens in that half a season?
50.
Just 50
Just
chances.
straight nose it, 50.
Well,
50
I mean,
out of whatever.
it's 6 games out of 18, so it's 33%.
True.
Good enough for me.
So we got to dive into some breaking news. The Cleveland Browns have announced that they are parting ways with Josh Gordon on Monday. They released a statement saying, we have supported Josh on everything that's happened to him, and we wish him nothing but the best. But as an organization, we feel it's time that we split ways with him. There was reports of some hamstring issues, injuries, stuff like that.
He's had that for years, though. He's always had the hamstring bug.
I don't know if it's there's things that might not be I don't think the Browns have supported him for so long. It would be kind of unclassy on their side to, if there were issues like in the locker room, to kind of come out and start like bashing the guy now.
Yeah.
Like you've shown your support for him for so long, and now now that he's not there, so it could have been that. Could have been like locker room issues. I could see egos between him and Landry. Because when Gordon's back, he very easily could be a 1 on any team.
Mm-hmm.
A healthy Josh Gordon. We saw flares of it last year.
Well,
He was held in check week 1 against the Steelers, but
he was also on a pitch count.
Yeah.
He was out there for a lot of snaps, but
I don't think the NFL really has that. They say that, we're going to limit his snaps. If a player makes a difference, you don't limit snaps. And if they don't make a difference,
You limit snaps.
yeah, and you don't count it calling limited snaps because they suck.
Did they hold Mac to that 20 snap or whatever it was? I didn't even remember if they did.
So they were on pace to for like the first like 2 drives, defensive drives. But he just went ape shit, and then they were just like, all right, so new plan, just hit
Until
the guy.
he gets tired.
Whoever's got the football, hit that guy, hit him.
and he did
Yeah.
a lot.
Greatest performance. I saw the stat. It was like 1984 or something
No,
like that.
so Khalil Mack was, not to get off topic, we'll go back to it, but Khalil Mack recorded a sack, forced fumble recovery, interception,
And a touchdown.
defensive touchdown, and a pass deflection.
Right.
All in the in the first half. He's the last player to record a stat in each of those categories since 2016 when Khalil Mack did it against the Panthers, and nobody's ever done it in a game
Before.
since sacks have been a recorded stat in 1984.
There we go. It was amazing.
Guy's an animal.
Yeah.
Just think though, like he did that in a game for the Raiders, and he was like, "Oh wow, that's amazing." He's like, "Hold my beer.
Let me do that one more
I'm
time.
gonna do it in a half and then lose." Tell you what though.
Well, he ran out of gas in the second half.
Well, I think what it was.
They were handling him one-on-one in the second half.
I think the offense. We'll talk about it. We'll get
Well,
to that. Yeah, but we'll get to that. Anyway,
A lot of stuff happening though.
yeah, Josh Gordon. Yeah, Josh Gordon is. So they said they announced that they would release him on Monday.
I think
But-
he's going to get traded.
They're going to shop trade options if people are willing to pay. I think a lot of teams would be. I guess Josh Gordon just like 5 minutes ago came out on a report saying if the Browns can make it happen, he desires to be a Cowboy or a 49er.
So go to the 49ers because he's going to be good wherever he goes.
See, I don't think he's going to be a good Cowboy because Dak's not a deep ball guy, and Josh Gordon's a go up and get him kind of guy. It'd be like having a Des Bryant, Alshon Jeffrey. Like Josh Gordon's a red zone and a go down the field and throw it up. I'm going to go get it.
I don't think he'd be a good Cowboy, but I could definitely see him a Cowboy because Jerry Jones loves his second
Loves it.
chance.
Yeah.
New England.
And, well, New England too, but Jones likes the controversy.
Why do you think they
Yeah,
cut
but Robert
Dan
Kraft
Bailey?
likes black people.
well,
See, now,
that's
personally, I picture Gordon and Garoppolo. That would be a hell of a combination.
He's all right. We keep him on the show. Pronouncing names right. Garapolo. Garapolo's Pizza, serving you up a slice of defeat.
Yeah.
We burnt the crust this week, but
Oh God.
but I blame the storm down in I guess it was Miami, the Titans game that lasted 18 hours.
Yeah.
No running game could be established there.
The Titans game that finished up after the 4 o'clock
Yeah.
games, but right before the Sunday night game.
That's the reason I lost.
But yeah, I mean, Josh Gordon. I think he can make an impact if he can stay healthy. It just depends on, like I said, we don't know if there's any in the locker room type stuff,
Yeah.
but it's all going to depend on, if he in fact goes to a team. If he goes to, I think he wants to go to a team like the 49ers or the Cowboys, or maybe like Jacksonville, because he would be the undeniable number one.
We got Souls attempting to come in. Looks like he's got a 5-gallon bucket of something.
Just bring it in the studio.
Can we bring it in the studio?
Just put it behind the door.
Why wouldn't you text me?
Souls, bring it in the studio, bro.
What did I forget?
So, but yeah, we had other stuff. A lot of injuries, a lot of week 1 injuries, big time things. Carolina Panthers down 3 of their 5 starting offensive linemen already to start the season.
Tell you, Packers fans got a big time scare.
Yeah, well, he's going to be a game time. I think he's going to play.
But even, that was scary.
Well, what's his face too?
Kaiser went down.
No, Devontae Adams is out.
Is he out, or
He said he's doubtful
Yeah.
because he has a shoulder injury that he got re-aggravated during the game against the Bears.
Listen, I said it last
Keanu
week.
Neal
Out for the season.
out for the season.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon
Hurt.
Well, no, it looks like he might only miss 1 game.
Oh, is that what it is?
So I believe he's undergoing surgery today.
He's doing
the
the same
orthoscopic surgery
the
today,
same scope
and
that
because they already played, he will have it's a best case scenario. I personally think he'll miss 2 games. Just why risk it? Especially because you guys have I think they got to play it out to the week. If it comes in this week, if New Orleans beats Cleveland and Kansas City beats Pittsburgh, I think you let him sit out an extra week, because now you're 2-0. The Ravens are 1-1. The Steelers are 1-0-1, and the Browns are 1-0-1. So worst case scenario, he sits out 2 games. You lose both those games. The worst case scenario is you're in last place at 2-2.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's
It's not a bad situation.
no, not at all. So, yeah, a lot of interesting things have been going on. But Uncle Bob's here.
Yeah.
Souls, you're with us. Mojito, I gave you the nickname for the day.
I'm back.
You're back. Any
Mojito?
toast you want
Yeah, do you have a toast excellence?
to? Does anything?
Did
Anything else up
anybody do the toast? Yes, week.
No.
there? Look at that. All you.
He
Because
hit,
no one likes to talk about
he
Puig.
hit 5 home runs in 24 hours.
Mine was to the Timber Bulls. Can you have my back that I understand that Thibodeau said that they're not going to go after Joakim Noah, but that's only because they haven't bought him out yet.
Oh, he'll be there.
If the Knicks buy him out, he's going there. And you want to know what? He's going to have comeback player of the year type of year, just to piss Jeff off.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah. All right, so we got Uncle Bob here.
Yeah.
Uncle Bob, much like myself, Chicago fan,
Yeah.
Bears fan.
Bears fan.
He's
Cubs
a little
fan,
senile because he's a
Bulls
Cubs fan.
Bulls fan.
Bulls fan. Blackhawks fan? Or did you just not
Yeah.
really- If you root for
I'm not a
hockey-
huge hockey fan, but I do follow the Blackhawks because they've been kind of magic lately, either first or last.
It's a good guy. It's a good guy. Way better than that bearded fellow that's usually here.
Uh-oh.
Guy cheers for things all over the country.
Oh, but, it was interesting. I was on a page that's Packers and Bears fans,
Mhm.
and I said at the beginning of the season that, he's got to play, Rodgers has to play the Bears twice each, okay? If he survives those 4 games, he may survive the season. Now, we already saw that his first game was against the Bears, and he got injured. Yeah, he still pulled off the magic. Today, he's facing an even better defense in the Vikings.
For now.
And is he going to survive that game? I don't know.
Well, and
If I'm the Packers, I'm sitting him.
well,
Because I want him to play the rest of the season.
the other thing too is he's got to play the Eagles defense. He's got to play the Rams defense.
Yeah.
He's got to play the Seahawks defense, which still, even though they're not what they used to be. They still have hard hitters.
They play the Saints this year.
Yep, they got to play the
Their
Saints.
defenses-
But I mean, they've got players. These are teams that have really good,
Pass rush.
pass rush front seven type
Well,
teams.
it's okay.
Yeah.
The Saints defense is back to normal.
Why?
Giving
don't
up
think so.
48 points a game.
I think Ryan Fitzpatrick had the game and the
Who?
what's his nickname now?
Ryan Fitzmagic.
Fitzmagic. I couldn't think of it.
Yeah.
See, it's tough though to gauge off division games because they're never played like normal games.
No,
You know, they're either the super low score or they blow up and
If the Packers had played a team, a non-division team that was the exact same caliber, talent-wise, as the Chicago Bears, they probably would have been up 24-18, 24-12 at the half. But division games are always the Bears always show up to play the Packers.
Yep.
The Bears can go 0-16 and get shut out in every game, and they'll put up 24 points and hold Green Bay to 20 to 30 points when they play Green Bay. They always show up to play Green Bay. Not always the Lions, but Green Bay they show up to play.
Well, yeah, but they haven't been terribly successful. They're 17-3 in the last 20 games.
Yeah.
Okay, so
the Packer. I mean, you're gonna see Rodgers staying in a lot of like shotgun, keep him away from the line because that leg is still a little wobbly.
that's why I say you sit him this week because you've got
I agree.
one of the best pass rushers in the league coming in after you had a surprise with the Bears.
I agree that he should sit, but I mean,
He
The
probably
guy's a
won't.
happy pill, dude, and he'll go
that
off.
team is so night and day.
Who?
The Packers. When Rodgers isn't on the field, that team is helpless. They are helpless without him. But when he's on the field, they're just like a Super Bowl
Well, he's
contender. It's just
He's one of those quarterbacks that like Brady makes his receivers better.
Yeah.
Because he puts the ball where only one guy can get it, and it's his guy.
he's just he's unbelievable. But when he's not on that team, I mean, to me, if Rodgers doesn't play a whole season, I mean, we kind of saw it last year. They're horrible. The defense isn't good. There's nothing there offensively.
The ridiculous
Yeah.
thing about it is they could have gotten Bridgewater,
Yeah,
okay, and they didn't. Now this is a team that needs to have a quality backup quarterback because Rodgers has gone down a lot.
Yeah.
And they don't have one. I mean,
I think Kaiser was a good pickup by them because I think he got a bad go of it in Cleveland. But I mean, week one kind of proved me wrong there. 'Cause he
Well,
didn't-
no. Khalil Mack proved
Yeah.
me wrong.
But I think Kaiser can be a decent backup. But I mean, Rodgers just got what did he get? Another 4 years.
The problem
Yeah.
for Kaiser was, he comes in, he takes his first reps as a Packer, down, trying to put together maybe some late first half magic, on an offense that wasn't clicking at all. There was no offensive momentum at all. But the problem with like a quarterback like Kaiser, like Russell Wilson's came to those mobile quarterbacks, they benefit a lot from shifting one way or another towards the edge of the pocket and then bailing out. And when you go up against like the Bears, for example, you have if they're blitzing if they're sending four guys, you're going to have Goldman and Hicks, two big guys
coming up
in the middle with big wingspans that clog up those lanes, and then you have Mack and Floyd on the outside who are ridiculously fast and very good at getting off of a block to break backwards.
Exactly.
So there's not a lot of places for you to go.
Yeah.
So like if Kaiser was going up, maybe against like a decent defense but not that fast of a defense, he might have had a little bit more magic to show in the first drive that he had. But
So we said Rodgers signed another 4 years, right?
4
Give him a
years
4-year
on top
extension?
of his 2 years he has left, right?
Yeah.
So personally, I don't think he plays out that contract.
I think he retires, or
I think he gets hurt and can't play anymore.
that's where my head is with
Yeah.
him too, because he's become awful fragile.
It's those collar. I mean, we saw it with Romo.
Yeah.
I mean,
They can only break so many times.
but I mean, you got to figure like
Well, once it breaks the first time, it's susceptible.
Yeah.
Especially with the kind of hits that a quarterback takes.
we look at professional athlete. You hit 35, you're old. You're an old man now. But like you're not. You're still a young person. So I mean, you break your collarbone. What he's done it 3-4 times now.
Two full
Two.
breaks and a fracture.
Yeah. So I mean, you're talking at 35. By the time he's 50, he's going to be all just crippled. I don't think he's going to play out that contract.
Interesting. I think my thing is, for that game, I'm not upset at all. Like, I mean, I was upset as it happened, as they lost the game, like as it was happening.
Well-
but once it was over, the next day, I wasn't upset that they lost because I saw a lot of things I'm
that
like
they can build on.
yeah, and for
Unless-
me, they lost the game not because the defense got gas, because they don't let Trubisky throw the ball down the field. The first 2 drives, he hit Robinson on a beautiful over the shoulder pass towards the sideline.
Yeah.
He hit Gabriel. He got
And
burnt
they
in the
went-
ball a couple times. He was showing a cannon, type tight window squeeze to Cohen. He hit Howard. He was hitting multiple targets. But after
they
the
went
first 2
conservative
drives,
in the second half.
Yeah.
There's one play that sticks out. It was 3rd and 1, and I know it wasn't necessarily the first option, but it was a somewhat of a kind of rollout screen type of thing. Have an offensive lineman or 2 roll out with the running back and block, get Trubisky out of the pocket, but not to run. Give the illusion.
Yeah.
Gabriel went downfield. Robinson went downfield, ran their routes or whatever, and then they turned around and tried to run a bootleg to Sims, who broke off the block and ran just a drag route back across line of scrimmage. And it was 3rd and 1. I think it was like the first drive of the second half.
Yeah.
It's like that's the type of stuff you're up 20-0, 20-3, or whatever the score was.
Conservative.
Run the ball in. Run the ball. 1 yard. You have a
Downfield.
power horse back. Punch it through that line.
One thing I took away from week 1 with the Bears, they were using Howard in more passing situations.
And he was catching.
Yeah, he was catching more
And
out of the
that's the thing.
backfield, which is good.
If he can become a viable threat out of the
Yeah.
Exactly.
backfield, defenses are going to have a very hard time figuring out what to do.
Well, they're going to have to watch him now. I think he was targeted 6 times and had
Yeah.
5 receptions.
But the
Okay, I mean that's
the
like
flip side of it is that is on paper going to be a very mean offense with the amount of weapons that because Robinson has proven what he can do. Gabriel's very fast. Burton's big-bodied and can run routes. Cohen and Howard have speed and can come out of the backfield. But until the offensive coordination and head coach decide to put that trust into Trubisky and let him go out and continuously throw down the field, teams are just going to keep loading up the box and blitzing him and making him to keep doing dump-offs.
Yep.
Because
I agree.
They're a one-dimensional team right now.
and the
offensively.
thing about it is the guy's got the mobility so that if the pocket breaks down, he can roll out and still throw the ball a million miles.
And that's why the Bears defense had so much success and why they'll continue to have success because they're a very multi-dimensional defense. I mean, you could very easily just send Roquan Smith, Khalil Mack, and Akeem Hicks at the quarterback and drop other people into a zone man hybrid, and those 3 people are still going to get pressure on the quarterback. One of them's going to get a one-on-one, and all 3 of them will make that one-on-one pass.
So what happens with Roquan's first play?
Yeah, comes in, gets a sack.
A sack, right?
Yeah.
Now, the other thing, and that's what drove me crazy about that game, is Nick Kwiatkowski
Yeah.
looked like he was lost out there. I mean, he was not in the game. Now, he was better than that last year, but this year, he just seems lost. And I don't know why he got the bulk of the playing time in the middle.
So I think my guess is so they talked about doing a split snap count kind of thing between Mack and Smith.
Yeah.
Give them both equal time, but not give them the full thing. Let them get in because Roquan Smith came in very late too because of this holdout
Right.
for the helmet rules
Helmet
and all
rule,
that
yeah.
stuff. So I think that was their game plan going in because I think that what they really want to do is I think they know what they can get out of Roquan Smith in terms of coverage,
Yeah.
both man and zone. I think they want him to learn the blitzes a little bit more because the Bears have a tendency to throw in like a little bit different type of blitz.
Yeah.
They go in and the Bears have been known to do type of thing where like Khalil Mack, for example, like Khalil Mack might have the meanest swim move in the NFL. Don't use your swim move on this play. We want you to go in and we want you to do the down and under on the weak side. That's what we want both ends to do, to come in and collapse, and then it knocks everybody off balance and it gets the defensive pressure through the middle. Like they design plays like that. We don't care what your strong move is, do this move. And then, so I think for Roquan Smith, I think that they just, once Khalil Mack kind of took off, I think it was just like, okay, this is the Khalil Mack show. Roquan next week.
So that's the
game
thing.
plan.
I hope the Bears see what they have in their they don't need to really focus on developing the defense. Like, the defense already looks good. You have Mack in there now. You have Smith. Now you got to focus on Trubisky. and groom him and get him.
That and teaching Kyle Fuller how to catch a football.
Yeah, that would have helped. Yeah.
But I
Our
mean, really,
children.
like, you know, the defense to me is there.
I play too. Throwing the football, even though it stayed in the
Yeah.
field. I think it's because it stayed in the field of play.
Yeah.
Like he didn't throw it to a sideline or like in the crowd or anything like that because he just flipped it up. But it very easily could be a delay of game penalty.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't flag him for it.
I do. I hope they now take the time and develop Trubisky. Let him
Well,
loose. Let him loose.
I don't know. I don't know if it's developing Trubisky so much as developing a total offensive.
The offense. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I was screaming watching the game because the second half you could tell they went conservative.
Very conservative.
Okay, now this is, I mean, when you've got an offense that's clicking like they did in the first half, why are you going defensive? Why are you going conservative? Run it up. This on top of that, you're playing your bitter rival who has whipped your ass 16
On the road.
Yeah.
On the road.
And they've whipped your ass 16 times out of the last 19 games. Why aren't you killing them? And they didn't do it. I mean, I was so frustrated.
Nagy was the coordinator for Kansas City, right?
Yes.
There's your reason. Kansas City did that all last season.
Yeah, I know.
They would blow up on offense and then lose games because they went away
Sat
from
on it.
everything
Yeah.
and went super conservative. That's that Andy Reid influence.
Doug Peterson's not like that though.
Still going to be one of the greatest head coaches of all time.
Who's that?
Andy Reid.
And,
Well, yeah.
he's a great coach.
Yeah.
He's but
There's
that's
no
like,
argument there,
he's
but
known
yes.
for that.
He's been known for that. But his
I mean, we saw it last year. Kareem Hunt, I mean, was the talk of the NFL for rookie running backs, and the second half of the season he was almost non-existent
even-
because they
but
stopped giving him the ball.
2 years ago, when they had what's his name, Smith,
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith at the quarterback,
Yeah.
and the first 6 games of the season, he's throwing the ball downfield, eating everybody alive.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
They
they
stopped.
went 15 yards and nothing longer.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell's going on there?
It's called the Chad Pennington playbook.
Yeah,
You know, you say Chad
Phil
Pennington.
Simms too.
I don't know if you watched the Jets game last Monday night at all, but they were talking about Sam Darnold before the game, and they're hoping that he's not another quarterback bust. And they were talking about Pennington being a quarterback bust for the Jets.
Wait, who said that? I didn't
They
hear
had
that.
it. They had it. They were doing like a whole thing. They had a whole list of quarterback names
Well, I
and-
think I don't think it was their bust. I think they were talking about rookie quarterbacks by
that
the
were
Jets.
that were busts. They said that were not
That
good.
turned into bust. Yeah,
Yeah.
but what they don't recognize is the fact that the Jets tore their teams down once they got a decent quarterback. They let all their receivers go. They've done this 3 times now. 3 times they've done this.
They had Pennington and they had Mark Sanchez on there, which I
Right.
think is kind of ridiculous. He brought them to 2 championship
Yeah,
games.
so Mark Sanchez wasn't a bust as a Jet. He was a bust as everything else.
I think Sanchez could have been dominant in the NFL if he didn't have Rex Ryan as his coach.
But no. It wasn't just Rex Ryan. It was the general manager there.
They left him
let-
out there to dry.
They let the 3 in one season. They let their 3 top
Yeah.
receivers walk. Okay, and it's like, and that's all of a sudden now all you got Sanchez remembered for is the butt fumble.
Yep.
Okay, but this was a guy who took them to the championship
Twice.
games
Trubisky
twice.
butt fumbled on Sunday.
Yeah.
Not
Did
the
he?
same way, but he had the ball in his hand. And
Yeah, and he ran
had it
into a
down.
lineman.
He
Yeah.
had it down, and the offensive lineman backed into him, and the butt hit his hand, and the ball
The
dropped.
Sanchez one is just so perfect. It's almost like it was scripted.
Yeah,
It was.
It's
That was on
just,
Thanksgiving, right?
Was that
I
Thursday?
think
Maybe
so.
it was a Thursday
Thanksgiving.
game. Yeah.
it was so perfect.
But I mean, it's a shame that that's what he's remembered for because his first 2 seasons, rookie and his sophomore season, he
Yeah.
took them to the playoffs, deep into the playoffs.
Championship games.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Rex Ryan, I think, was just the worst combo for him because he was just a defense only. Half the time, he wasn't even watching the offense play. If he had some type of quarterback coach, anything, I think Sanchez would have been
He's
really
also
good.
No. You got to understand something, okay? It wasn't that. It wasn't Ryan. He let his offensive coordinator control things. In the first 2 seasons, they had the players to make it happen, and Sanchez took them where they needed to go.
Thomas
The
Jones is
general
big for that.
manager, now who's, thank God, gone, but he wouldn't spend any money.
Yeah.
And
I'm trying to remember the coordinator. Maybe like a Marty Morningway was there. At the
Morningway?
time.
Yeah.
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 And where's is he in Baltimore now?
Something like that.
And,
He was in Baltimore last year.
And you kind of look at that offense is kind of sputtering as well. I mean, I agree with what you're saying, Bob. But I definitely feel that, Ryan being kind of that defensive mind,
It was just, to me, I think it was just bad timing for him. If he had the coaching staff to develop him and let him go and keep the talent around him, I think Sanchez could have been like a dominant quarterback. But they didn't take care of him, and then he's just floating around. And
the teams they lost in it was the Steelers and Patriots. So it's like it's stuff you get through, and then
did he beat the Patriots in the playoffs one of those years?
Yeah.
Yes.
The first year, right?
Yeah, the first year.
He beat the Patriots and then lost to the Steelers.
Yeah.
And then he lost, and then the Steelers lost to the
Packers.
Patriots. No, then the next year the Steelers lost to the Patriots, and then he lost to the Patriots.
No,
That was Green Bay.
It was 2010. Pretty sure it was 2010.
Yeah, because I remember
when he was in the
being
AFC
high
Championship
school.
game was when you guys lost to the Packers.
Right.
We beat somebody.
Of course you beat somebody to
No,
get
I'm
there.
just thinking to myself.
Nah, Steelers Super Bowl. AFC games canceled.
I'm trying to think of who we beat when we play the Cardinals.
All the NFC games, we're going to play 2-minute quarters, round robin tournament, single elimination.
To beat the Cardinals, I think we beat the Ravens. Because I think it was that Palomalo interception that he returned for a touchdown. I think.
Second best safety in AFC North history. We talked about the first one already. Kendall's toast excellence was Ed Reed.
It was not. That was my trivia question.
He,
Would you like
he
to
said
guess?
he was the best, and he had the best hair.
Okay,
Palomao. Yeah.
How many picks do you think Ed Reed had against the AFC North?
20.
Damn, I still lost.
Still lost.
Where's the better side?
28.
28.
Kyle, 28,
Yes,
and
man.
have some. We got to finish that today. I don't want to have that again.
Oh my god. It's heavy.
It's heavy.
Little Bob, you tried this?
No.
Come on.
I'm still drinking coffee.
I think you should try this.
No, I'm not going to try it.
Kyle, we want him to come back.
It's
Come
not the stuff
on.
inside that's going to deter you. It's the herpes on the lid that are going to bring you back.
I smell it every time. I just regret it.
Any other week one surprise?
Got Delaney Walker going down.
What?
Walker
Any
goes
other
to
week
Fantasy
one
League.
surprises?
Fitzmagic. That's probably the
Yeah,
biggest
that's-
week one surprise.
Is it though?
It is, Kyle.
It's his turn to be good this year.
Kyle, listen, he's throwing 5 interceptions this week.
No, he's not. Who are they playing?
No, because
Eagles?
he's traditionally not he's not like a
He's
game-to-game
not.
receiver. He either goes off for like a good stretch or just sucks.
Sucks, yeah.
This is his year to be good. I said that last week.
He did, but he also said Andrew Luck was going to win that game. So
He should have.
He should have.
Frank Reich is stupid.
He had all the praise from last week.
Yeah.
Frank Reich, he's a good coach, but
He's stupid.
First time. First game.
Well, no rookie coach won this past week, right?
0-8.
0-8.
0-8. Yep.
Hugh Jackson's still winless.
I
Yeah.
tell you what, though, shout out Browns. Best start since 04.
Yeah.
only team in the NFL that can snap a 16-game losing streak by not winning.
That's right.
Yeah.
And of course, it'll be Pittsburgh.
We talked about it, but I want to know your take on it. Why do you think they're cutting Gordon?
Well, I honestly saw that he got hurt doing a photo shoot.
I saw the headline. I didn't read it. I was like,
So he
that's
got hurt
dumb.
doing a photo shoot and said he got hurt playing, and that didn't happen. So they're kind of pissed off at him for that.
So where does he go?
The two teams I saw.
No,
was-
where do you think?
I think he goes to Dallas. They need a receiver, and Cowboys just suck. So why not? And they have a lot of problems there anyway. So fits right. in.
That's what-
Yeah, well,
You basically summed up what we said.
Yeah.
yeah.
you know,
I still think he's going to end up in San Francisco.
yeah,
That'd be cool.
that's my guess. If he goes to New England, he's gonna be the best receiver this season.
Frisco has some money that they can spend. And
Man,
they
I'd love to
really
see him
need
on
to get
black
another
yellow,
target.
Kyle wants him in Pittsburgh so
though.
bad.
He'd be a good Penguin.
He would be.
Get him on the ice.
It would be beautiful if he went there.
What position do you think he's going to play?
Center.
Oh,
He's gonna take over Sidney Crosby's spot.
I see. I see where your loyalties lie.
Bring in
What?
Gordon, cut Crosby.
Right.
Crosby signs with the Browns.
To be a wide receiver.
Nope. Left tackle.
Oof.
Left tackle at 6'1", 201.
Remember those LeBron commercials when he was playing for the Browns? I don't know if it was Gatorade or Nike,
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Probably Sprite.
Sprite, yeah. I enjoyed those.
It's good soda. Sprite's a good soda. Okay.
Kyle, no comment?
We're not going to talk about Sprite.
It's the real citrus soda.
It's fucking stupid.
It goes Sprite, Mellow Yellow, Surge, Mountain Dew Ice, Mountain Dew Code Red.
This is what we talk about. You can get out.
No.
Mountain Dew Ice was the most terrible thing I've ever drank in my entire life.
That can't be true. You
It's-
just drank that private stack.
That's better than Mountain Dew Ice.
I'm on Kyle's side on this one.
It was terrible.
So we let's talk to we're going to break in a little bit. Let's but before we do, let's talk Thursday night football. Bengals Ravens.
AJ Green.
Bengals are 2-0. Cincinnati does the what we talked about with the Bears. They come out and put up 28 monster points and then just pretty much don't do anything for the rest of the game.
Almost blew it.
Yeah, AJ Green on track to put up 95 touchdowns in a single game. Finishes with what he started with. 2 minutes into the second quarter, AJ Green catches his third touchdown. Here we are wrapping up here in Cincinnati. AJ Green 3 touchdowns, hasn't caught the ball in 20 minutes.
I hate when the announcers do stuff because AJ Green had a monster first half, but well, he didn't really do anything in the second half. He already had 3 touchdowns. What else do you want him to do?
Break that 100 yards.
But I hate when
Fantasy whore.
I might be getting AJ Green.
From who?
Patrick.
Oh, we got to call Pat.
He needs a running back desperately, so that's why.
Well,
But-
go ahead.
Well, did you watch the game?
I did.
Do you have anything?
And-
Bob, did you watch the game?
No.
Kyle, Mach?
You're talking about the Thursday game? The
Yeah.
only game I watch are the Bears games.
Yeah. Kind of watches every game he can get his hands on.
I'm a slave to the NFL. Just-
See, I can stay awake for Cubs games watching on television. I can stay awake for Bears games. I watch any other game, Bulls too. But any other sport, I don't care. I fall asleep. They bore me, okay, because I'm not interested in anybody else. And truthfully, sports has gotten boring. It takes too long to play a game. Even basketball takes too long to play a game on television. Okay, it's like, in my opinion, we should be doing what soccer does. Okay, football should be a continuous running clock. Make it 90 minutes instead of an hour. A continuous clock. Okay, run your commercials, picture in picture, or banners across the bottom. That's what they do in soccer in Europe.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
it's interesting because I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but the ball is only in motion for X amount of time during the entire
it's
game.
like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting
It's ridiculous.
point. Yeah.
Okay, and baseball. Come on. When I was a kid, I'm talking like 8, 9 years old, every 4th of July.
I thought it was just 8, 9 years ago.
When I was 8 or 9 years old, which means it's back in the mid-50s. Okay. Every year on the 4th of July, the Yankees and Red Sox played a doubleheader. And it took 5 hours to play a doubleheader. Today, it takes 5 hours for the Yankees and Red Sox to play one game.
Yeah.
Something needs to happen. They need a 10-second pitch clock, for crying out loud, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't like that.
Kyle, shut up.
Why?
You
You don't
just
like
want-
the pitch clock?
No, Kyle, it's because you're sore from pitching Little League.
First of all, I don't care about that. I care about the pitch clock.
He hit another kid.
He gets up today. He's like, "Oh, my ass is killing me." Kyle, why?
He hit another kid.
Once. And he started from yesterday. Anyways, I think the pitch clock is just going to ruin the game.
Why, though?
Because it's going to make the pitchers rush and they're not going to be able to throw strikes.
Wait a second.
Kyle.
Games back in the 50s and 60s, when the pitchers would pitch 30 to 40 games a year and go 8 to 9 innings on average, they were taking 2 hours.
They also weren't throwing as hard as we're there now.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about they don't need all this time to walk around the frickin' mound and batters getting out of the batter's box to adjust their goddamn gloves and crotch. Stay in the box.
If they're doing a pitch count, if they're timing the pitchers and the batter's taking forever, that's going against the pitch clock.
Well, no, they can call, if they do it right, if the batter delays the game, he gets a strike.
They do
Okay.
that, then that's
And if the pitcher delays the game, the batter gets a ball.
they won't do it like that.
Well, and they won't, and they're going to kill the game.
I think putting a pitch clock will kill it.
They got to hurry it up. They got to hurry it up because it is. You got to block out an entire afternoon to watch one baseball game.
Well, that's your choice.
But it shouldn't be that way, Kyle. I mean,
it should be.
Why?
Because, one, are you going to sit there and watch 162 Yankee games if there was a pitch clock?
Kyle, I won't watch 162 Yankee games.
So, the average fan will probably watch about half the season.
Okay.
And if they're doing that, they're enjoying the 3 hours they get at night to watch it.
But it's not 3 hours.
Most games
It's
are
closer
2.5
to 3.5.
Not anymore. Most games are 2.5 to 3 hours.
No, they're
I've,
not.
I've watched plenty of games and they end at 9:30. There's a lot of games that I watch. It could be A's, Astros.
The
or
average game this season is running
Brewers
3 hours and 15 minutes.
Padres.
The average game this season is running 3 hours and 15 minutes. Okay,
That's
this is
not terrible at all.
ridiculous.
It's different for fans, though. Like you're as a fan of a team, because that's where I think that's where you're arguing versus like what Uncle Bob's arguing. Because like I see both sides. Like I'll sit down and I'll watch a White Sox game that's going to last 3.5 hours because it's the White Sox.
Right.
But like you could have Chris Sale going up to have say this game if he gets double-digit strikeouts, like when he was with the White Sox. If he gets a double-digit strikeouts this game, he breaks Pedro's record. And then on the flip side of it, they're playing the Yankees, who Judge is going to break the record for most consecutive games with a home run. That's a huge game to watch. But I'm not going to watch it no matter how important it is because it's going to last me 3.5 hours and I don't care about either team. I would invest my time into other baseball teams as a non-fan of them if the games didn't take forever. Same thing with like football. I'm not going to sit down. Like Kendall's a slave to the NFL. But if the Patriots are 15-0 and they're going up against the 0-15 Browns in Week 16, I'm not spending 3 hours of my time watching that game. I'm just not going to do it. If it was a compelling matchup,
closer to 3.5 hours.
And it'd be more compelling. But it's like the same thing with basketball too. I mean, really, the only sport that can keep my attention when it's not my favorite team is hockey because it's so fast paced.
And for me, I can watch any baseball game. That's the truth. I can sit down and watch a Brewers Padres game.
Ugh,
I can do
Well,
it.
I could do. I'm kind of like
I'll be asleep by the end of the first inning.
But the general market can't do that. That's the problem with mostly with baseball, but realistically, all three of the top three sports in America.
Right.
Because hockey doesn't do TV timeouts. Hockey, the ref's not going to stop play and pick up the puck because they need to go to a commercial break. If they have 12 minutes of play without a penalty, a goal, or any sort of stoppage, it's 12 minutes and then they go to a commercial. Yeah. The ref's not going to be like, all right, timeout. Rogain's got a thing they need to do. Yeah. Let's figure this out.
Well, and that's soccer's doing the MSL's doing the same thing. It's continuous. They're on the game the whole time, and they're running banners across the bottom,
right?
And in picture.
Yeah, I think to Bob's point, there could definitely be a change, football especially, in how advertising is done. And I think there could be a way in baseball to find maybe not 10 seconds, but I think there could be some sort of pitch count where the pitcher is not rushing his pitches, and there's not, I watch, players like he'll adjust his gloves 3 times before he gets back.
Nomar was the worst.
Yeah,
like, Nomar was the worst.
Garcia Parr, yeah.
Him and Chuck Knobloch.
I think it can be established, and I agree with you, Kyle, that they are throwing harder now, but it's an ever-changing game.
The game's got to speed up a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying it's got to be under 2 hours but just to move it along. But you don't want to feel like you're waiting around for each pitch. It's just. I don't know. At least give the illusion that things are constant.
You got to realize when I lived in Chicago, I was still playing slow pitch softball, and you had, because of so many teams in the leagues, you had 1 hour to play the game.
That's how it is now.
And we averaged getting in 7 innings a game in an hour.
Yeah, it's still
so
that way.
why can't professional baseball play 9 innings in 2 hours? Give me a fucking break.
The games are way different than softball.
Plus errors. At least from the softball games I watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's time for break.
No, let's go over the error count from the Russo's Hardwood Floor / Riverhead Irrigation.
I make sure my dad's not downstairs.
We're gonna do this. Riverhead doesn't make a lot of errors except Albert. That was today.
There you go. Call him out.
Yeah, he deserves it today.
He's not listening. Why'd you lose?
Yeah, we were only down by 1, and then all of a sudden they hit 5 balls to left field and it went Then it went south.
All right, well, we're going to go to break. When we come back, we're going to talk some of Uncle Bob's Chicago sports fans experience.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We're going to talk, Mach Sr. will be here. He can talk some Giants. He's a Giants fan. Maybe have some war stories and stuff like that. And then in the second hour, we're going to do, if Uncle Bob and Mach Sr. wish to chime in, we'll do our weekly round the horn on the NFL matchups, predictions with prediction scores and all that stuff. So we'll be back shortly. Make sure to stay tuned in. Welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by assholes everywhere. Everywhere.
New one.
We got
Hanging
a new
from
one.
the ceiling.
So yeah, we're back here. Live hour 2. If you're just tuning in, remember for future shows, we are now live from 10 to 1.
10 to
not
1.
just 11 to 1. More content, more bullshit, more booze. So yeah, we're here with some special guests. We still have Uncle Bob here,
Hey,
and we are now joined by Mach Sr.
Thank you.
there we go.
Nice to be here.
Congratulations
Thank
Yeah.
you.
on your most recent ceremony.
Yesterday.
Very
It was a good
fun.
time.
Very
And
exciting.
you're here.
It was nice and small. Perfect.
So what's the bride's name?
Magda.
Magda Mach?
It will be
Magda Mach.
once we change the paperwork.
That's awesome. That's a good
But
name.
in Czech, it's Machova. You got to put an ova on the end of everything.
Okay. See, I'm a big fan of like the names like where they just like they sound like awesome because so
Cooper
Kyle's
Cup?
cousin Samantha, like she made the joke the other day that I should take her last name if we ever got married. And I said, if my name, that would be Paul Kalani. I sound like I'm running for a governor position. Like, I'm Paul Kalani and I
Kalani,
approve this
vote
message.
for me.
Yeah, I sound like I'm running for.
I
so I'm
will
all
raise
about
your taxes.
it. Yeah, 100%. And I'm not gonna like screw you guys. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm
You
gonna
have
raise
my
your
vote.
taxes, and I'm gonna use it to buy myself otter fur coats.
There you go.
I'm gonna be.
Well, that's
100%.
messed
Like, so you don't
Oh,
ever
yeah, but-
really want to get elected.
Exactly.
But like, why
But,
you
like-
didn't use otters?
Huh?
Don't you like otters? So
I love otters.
you just want to kill a bunch of them and wear their skin?
No. I want to take the ones that naturally die.
Oh.
We gotta find it.
Find them, wash them on dams. There's a good one right
Start a
there.
rescue mission. So we got a lot of stuff to cover in this hour, including a Czech beer tasting.
Yeah.
So Mach Sr. In a few seconds is going to give us the rundown on the beers supplied by Mach Sr. from the Czech Republic, the homeland.
Delivered fresh.
Here we go.
See, I can't read the can. But,
Gold can,
gold
green can.
Gold and green.
Staropramen, this stuff is probably older than the United States of America. No.
a little closer
Oh,
to
my
the
I'll bring the
mic.
mic in a little bit
You can pull it towards you,
by the arm
so you
there.
can lean back.
Is that better?
Better.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, this beer started in 1869. So,
So it's not older
obviously
than
they know
America.
what they're doing.
So
Around that long.
Yingling's been around longer than that.
Yingling.
Yingling is... It's on the can here somewhere.
It's also the same time all the Yingling that you drink was brewed.
Yeah.
Paul's a Yingling hater. What was it? Was it 1874?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
It's not on the can. But
Doesn't matter. Still pretty fucking impressive.
it's been around.
I can't read it, though.
If Peter was here, he'd make some joke about like, oh, it was the same time Uncle Bob was born.
1829.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're coming up on
And I
200
just
years.
heard of it last year.
What do you think they're gonna do
But
for 200 years?
Shut down.
Yingling
They're gonna start
IPA.
making something with peach flavor or
Oh,
orange
yeah.
flavor. Like,
Yingling won't.
What
even
do you mean?
that's,
They make an
even that's gotten
IPA.
to
They
the
make
Czech
all kinds of
Republic.
craft beer now.
well, but I think Yingling is no. They've got this is their core. That's all they've
Yeah.
ever offered. They don't bring out new stuff. They just
The
do
lager.
what they do good. Their black and tan is absolutely delicious.
Yeah, I
And
like
it's
the
a
black
blend
tans.
of
It's the only one I can
It's a-
drink from
it's a-
Yingling.
It's a blend of porter and pilsner.
Yeah.
It's almost like Mississippi mud.
Kyle, why are you
Well, what do
making
you
that
drink?
expression?
I have no
You
idea
know,
what that
Yingling.
means.
What's your go-to beer?
What for like mass consumption?
Just if you have a choice in front of you, what would you pick?
Guinness.
Guinness.
I like dark beers.
Guinness is like the best.
That's
Dark, if I'm gonna drink a beer that's see through, it's usually like I like this Scotch ales. I like something with just a little bit more body.
So you're
to
not
it,
a
I guess.
cheap date then.
No, I can drink Miller High Life. if I need to
Well,
crush
that's
if I need to crush a beer, I can do it. I can do a $10 18 pack.
Well, you know
But you
now.
can bet your ass all 18 are going down.
Yeah.
But but that's why like for me Miller High Life was it was the perfect college beer for Kendall and I because it was
Budget.
it was on
When you're
on
on a
sale. It would
budget.
go on sale every other month, $8 for an 18 pack. So we would stock up the cabinet. all that we would right at the end of the month, we'd eat all the food we had. So
Brian.
and then we would take the grocery money when it went on sale and fill up the pantry with beer.
So you made the joke that Peter would have made a comment about Bob's age, and he wrote that Bob was born before beer.
Peter,
The crooked one.
the crooked finger is in the air.
Yeah, the first one.
Oh, yeah,
How'd you say it there, Pop?
Staro pramen.
There you go. Go ahead, Kyle.
I don't even know what you just said.
Very weedy. Big fan.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Better than the G-Bot.
Give me the beer, Kyle. Give it back.
It's almost gone. It just tastes flat, man.
Give me
I know
$40.
Give me $40.
You accept credit?
So we're gonna continue to do the tasting as we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get through these this hour. We also have to do. So we changed up the rules from when we did the live draft for our fantasy football thing for the Getting Sports with Drunk. It was due because when Jeff did his draft, he's the injury guy. That's what he does. It wasn't made aware that Carson Wentz might be out till week 7. Aaron Rodgers might not play today. So Jeff was stuck with one quarterback in a 2-quarterback league. So he picked up Patrick Mahomes. So we're just going to do one pick every Sunday. I'm going to go in after the picks are made, put them in the rosters. You can play them today. Obviously, if they play Thursday of that week, you're shit out of luck. So deal with it. But we're going to do one after every week until right after week 5. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to get to that at some point, make it quick. You guys can kind of like do your homework in your heads about who you want, type of thing. Rebecca, specifically, please find a name. I don't want to take an hour while you decide.
Make a list.
Just think of somebody that's not going to be drafted at all by anybody else. Just pick them. And then something else we were going to talk about. I don't remember what it was. Well, we're going to talk Bob and Mach Sr. sports stuff.
Yeah.
Sports they like, what they like, all kinds of stuff. Let's lead off with that. New York Giants shirt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whole life?
Whole life. Yeah.
Is that where you get it from?
When
Yeah.
he was,
Can we start calling you Mach Jr.? No. Mach Sheen Washable.
Even worse.
Kevin Nash.
Oh, God. You're getting
MJ.
worse.
When I was a
MJ.
kid, I didn't even know what football was or baseball. So, living in Brantford, it was New York Jets or New York Giants. I like blue, so I just picked the Giants. And a few years after I started liking them, Sims.
Yeah.
They won, and then it was easy to be a fan, and then it was a bunch of lean years. And then when the kids started getting into it, and Eli and all that, and they, when they were young and they were picking and choosing whatever, the Giants continued winning, so it was easy for them to become fans too, and now it's in their blood. It would be tough if one
The
of them
Giants
was
were
a
kind of
Patriot
bad
fan.
when I really started watching football. It was like Eli's first year.
Yeah.
They were terrible.
Yeah, but you watched them grow into what it was, and it was fun to watch it all happen.
He was bad.
That's when you started?
That was I always watched it, but that was when I really
Got into it?
dialed in. Yeah.
And then the Yankees, that was easy too, because they were just Jeter,
Well,
Jeter, and it was easy to watch him play.
You started as a Mets fan,
Yeah. Because I
and
didn't know
made
what
the
baseball
wise
was.
decision.
And my girlfriend at the time, her father took me to a Mets game, and I said, all right, so I'll be a Mets fan.
That guy tried to ruin your life.
And then
Kendall's just quietly fuming.
I said, I'm an American. I got to like baseball. And that was the year the Yankees lost the divisional series to,
The Red Sox.
or they lost the World Series to the Braves, I think.
Oh, okay.
96.
In the last at bat or something, the guy snuck home or something like that.
96.
So I was like, all right, next year I'm rooting for the Yankees so that they win it all. And that's how I started being a Yankee fan. So I'm all New York. Rangers, Giants.
Rangers. Knicks.
By default.
You don't have to advertise that one. We won't. Jeff's a
No.
Knicks fan. We let it slide. Everyone's got one bad team. Mine's the White Sox. Jeff's
Well, it's
the Knicks.
usually Mets, Nets, Jets, Islanders, because it's almost like the same colors.
Yeah.
And that's the second class teams in New York. That's the working class. And all the white collar teams are the ones I got for some reason.
Kyle's was the Phillies.
Because nobody can really afford the good seats in Giant Stadium or Rangers tickets unless you have
Yeah,
corporate-
bad seats in Giant
unless you have
Stadium are.
$300. I looked. I wanted to go to the Jacksonville game when I said no.
We
And
better
you're
save
up in
up
the-
for December 2nd mock.
We can find them cheaper.
Yeah, we got a
You got a
I'll
guy?
get you the tickets.
Bears Giants.
Oh, Kyle said he's buying them, so.
Actually, I might have a guy. A guy I work with. His grandfather buys sets of 6 seats, season tickets, and he only goes to 2 games. It's him and his
A lot
wife.
of people do that. They buy season tickets, then sell them off. They make money on it.
It's him and his wife. He takes, and then the guy I work with and his brother, and then they each get a +1, and then they sell out the rest of them. So usually one of the sons each buys a set of 6 from his grandfather so that they can take their friends. So he said that he would be interested in that game. So if he gets that game, he'll let me know, and then we can buy the tickets from him.
Are they good seats?
Pretty good seats. I think it's row. I think he said it was like row 34 on the 40-yard line.
Oh, that's not bad
That's
at all.
not bad at all.
SeatGeek, baby.
Although I tell you, like,
Nope.
Giant
Working with
Stadium-
people, baby.
I've been to Giant
Weddings,
Stadium
baby.
twice, or MetLife, and like the first time we went, that was when we all went, and Merce and I sat lower, and it was really cool to be that close. But I like sitting up top for football. I mean, we've done it in
Well,
Pittsburgh.
you see the whole thing at
You
one
can
time.
see the whole play develop, and
Yeah.
you don't get to see that on TV.
Let me tell you something.
I was still watching the Jumbotron anyway.
Let me tell you something. Football, yeah, but try sitting like down in the first 5 or 6 rows for a hockey game.
I've done it. It's
or a
very
basketball
difficult.
game. Yeah, at least for football, it's like, oh, wow. And it's like, okay, let me adjust my head and everything. All right, next play. Hockey, you're just like,
Hey, don't
you're all over the place.
don't laugh, but I have opening night for Sound Tigers tickets if you guys want them.
When is it?
October 15th,
Nah,
16th.
we're busy.
Got a game.
Yeah.
We actually had a
sound check?
baseball game
That's
to go.
that's the hockey team, right, in Bridgeport?
Yeah. It's
Oh,
that's right,
Sound
Saturday,
Tigers.
yeah,
Yeah.
Saturday or Sunday. I got
That's
a
the New
pair if
York
you guys
Islanders
want it.
Farm team.
We got a baseball game that day.
And Bob, we mentioned before, you're a Chicago fan.
Oh yeah. Well, you got to realize something, okay? I moved to Chicago
Hey, Pat.
in '85.
Mhm.
I had been on the Giants waiting list for season tickets for 10 years. The year I moved in '85, I get a letter in the mail saying I could have tickets. Okay. Now, what did they do that year? 1986. Okay. The year after the Bears, they go and win the Super Bowl. I was in the seventh heaven. But then all of a sudden, I spent 15 years in Chicago, and I got converted. You know, go to a couple of games in Wrigley Field. You aren't going to want to go anyplace else except Fenway. It's really, seriously.
I've
We
been
got-
to
we
a
got a
lot of
Comiskey
Wrigley
lover
Field
here.
games.
I
It's-
wish we can go there.
Okay, and I mean,
We will go there.
when I moved
not
to
that far
Chicago
apart, right?
in '85, you could walk up and buy courtside seats for the Bulls for $35. Okay, 2 years later,
Jordan.
it was $150. No, Jordan was there in '85,
No, but
Yeah.
it wasn't Jordan. Like, I mean,
Jordan.
like, they knew
Jordan.
what they
Well,
had, but
but no, they had just gotten Cartwright, they
Yeah.
got Pippen, and they got Grant, and all of a sudden nobody could stop them. But it was like, you know, and then the Bears, okay, and the Cubs. It's like I've been to the Blackhawks, but I hadn't been to the Blackhawks since they moved into the new stadium. It was the old Chicago. What a place to watch a game, any kind of sport, and actually the circus too. I mean, it was like,
I did a thing. We were talking some like marketing class I took in school, and we were talking about like all kinds of like sporting. The theme was for sporting events and stuff like that. Like, you know, things that market. It was like box seats versus all
Right.
this stuff. And I wrote my paper on Chicago because they had old Chicago Stadium, and then they built the United Center.
Yeah.
And Chicago they're the only team, they're the only city that has multiple franchises that have played their entire existence on one street.
right.
And I thought that was
Right.
pretty cool. I mean, like,
Yeah.
granted, it's 2 stadiums, but Old Chicago Stadium is just
It was right
just
next
up
door.
the road.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like the Boston Garden. It's right next to the other one, isn't it?
No, I think
No.
we looked it up. It's like it was like 3 or 4 streets over and like a little bit more north. Like,
Right.
it was the same thing with like Madison Square Garden, like where the Knicks used to play, was only like maybe like 15 blocks away, but it was on a different street. But like
Right.
they just it was like what they did with Yankee Stadium. They just built it in the parking lot.
Parking lot.
Right.
What's it like looking like Philly? You have the Lincoln Field,
Citizens Bank.
Citizens
and
Bank.
Wells Fargo.
Yeah, all right there.
Shout out to
Share
my
that
mother,
bar.
by the way.
Jersey's
Yeah.
like that though.
Hi, Mama
Giant
Souls.
Stadium's
Yeah.
right next to the Brandenburg.
It's all right there.
For me, like you talked about, like you got converted for football at least. I think that the 3 like cities where if you go into that city as like a loose football fan, like obviously like all of us, our roots run deep. You know, Giants fan
Yeah.
for a long time, born into Giants legacy, born into Steelers legacy, wanted to be a black running back. He wanted to be Jerome Bettis. That's how he picked the
He's getting
Steelers.
there.
When I grow up, you'll be sorry.
when I
A little
grow
more
up-
sun.
When my eyes finally open. But, like, living in Chicago 15 years, you're the best example of it. But, born in Chicago, like, our roots run deep. We're not easily persuaded. But Chicago, Green Bay, Pittsburgh. Those are, in my opinion, would be the three easiest cities that if you go in there and you're like, I like football, I watch the Giants a lot, or I watch the 49ers a lot because my dad was a fan, but you live there for 15, 20 years, a lot of rich history,
Also, you got to really love football to go to home games in Green Bay or Chicago. Sitting in that stadium at 20 below all the time.
Chicago's
It's
the
cold.
worst.
Yeah.
It's a whole
Chicago's the
different
worst.
kind of tailgating than we're used
That
to.
wind.
Yeah, because Chicago, you get the way the stadium's built, the opening behind the scoreboard is right where the wind's coming from Lake Michigan.
That's
And
right.
it gets very
It's brutal.
frigid. We went.
It's brutal.
The first Bears game I ever went to was Bears Packers in Week 17.
That's rough.
Yeah,
Darwin.
it was snowing. It was snowing, and there was about 3 inches of snow on the field. I think it was like 4 degrees, and it was like minus 25
Yeah,
with
see,
the
in
wind chill off the
Chicago,
lake.
around here when it snows, it's in the 30s.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Okay?
it's
Chicago, no, when it snows, it's freaking cold.
bone
I mean, it's
chilling, yeah.
Ugh. It's like, yeah, but I mean, it's okay. I mean, like right now, I know, oh, yeah.
Up until a few years
That,
ago.
by the
I've
way,
been-
that was very good. That's a
That
very
was
nice.
good.
Just so you guys know, there is a 0% chance you get your cup back.
That's not true. I have it mapped out.
There
I
we
just
go.
want to bring something up real quick.
Oh God, here we go.
We were talking about
Josh
Jordan.
Gordon should be a Steeler.
No. We were talking about Jordan for a second. And I just want to bring up on how much bad luck the Portland Trailblazers have. Because they had the first pick for 2 years, and it was Jordan and Kevin Durant that went 2. And they ended up getting Greg Oden. I forgot who the other guy they picked over Jordan. And they both ended up having injury careers, and they just could not recuperate from it. It must suck being a Portland Trailblazers
That does suck.
fan.
Yeah.
You could have
Brandon Roy
Jordan
too.
and you could
Brandon
have-
Roy
Brandon
too.
Roy. Yeah.
Well, he actually played a few years. And was
But it
very
doesn't
good.
matter. But still,
I
Brandon Roy
thought
could
it
have.
was worse to be a Clipper. They were horrible for a
while.
Forever.
Then they got Blake Griffin, and things slowly turned, but they still can never get over the hump because they brought in Doc Rivers.
Hey,
They're
they
always
had Chris
in the
Kaman. That
Lakers
guy had
shadow.
liver spots at like 24.
Yeah.
That guy, no, there was a game where he got mad. He got furious with the ref, and it was the first time I was like really watching like a Clippers game. I mean, I watched a lot of the double headers on TNT on Thursday nights because I'd get home from work or sports or whatever. I'd sit down, I'd do my homework, and watch the double headers for basketball. That's what I played growing up. All my interest was invested in it. But this is mine. The first time I really watched the Clippers, Chris Kaman I think he was 24. I think it was like his second year out of college. And he got mad at a call, and he ripped off his jersey,
up, Mark?
out of like just anger at the ref and all that stuff, and threw it in the crowd. And this guy had liver spots. This guy looked like someone glued bologna to his skin. Like, it was bad. And
He was
just
good, though.
very underrated. Very underrated.
Real quick, we're moving into the second Czech beer here.
Oh, yeah.
Ostravar. That's from the
Ostrava, right?
city where Magda lived before she moved in with me. It's Ostrava. It's where Ivan Lendel's from, if you know who Ivan Lendl is.
I don't think I do.
Tennis player.
There you go.
Oh.
And yeah, and I tried it when I was over there, and I was like, all right, we're
One of the
taking a
greats
few of
of
those.
his time.
One of the
greats
greats,
of
yeah.
his
The only
time.
thing he couldn't win was Wimbledon.
That's right.
Was that when he had Andre Agassi going after him?
No, that's when
Kyle, stop trying to Bleacher Report your way into everything.
No, I
McEnroe-
know Andre Agassi.
What's up, Mark
McEnroe and
Anderson?
Bjorn Borg were ruling
Yeah.
Wimbledon at the time.
Yeah.
This was before you were alive, kids.
Nice. I know 3 tennis players.
And they're all dead.
Agassi, Nadal, and Federer.
What about Williams sisters?
I thought you
They
were.
don't
Gonna,
count, they're
I
women.
thought you were
I'm
going to
talking about the
say
men.
what's her name, the
I'll
Russian
talk
girl.
about the men. Not the women.
Navratilova?
No, she's Czech.
I know the
The
Williams
Russian
sisters.
blonde.
Sharapova?
She's already slept with half the NHL. What's
That's
her
right,
name?
yeah.
Carrie Underwood.
No, she married
That's
the
not
NHL.
nice. That's not nice.
Long-time tennis pro, Carrie Underwood.
Kyle, what's
Her
your
husband plays for
good
Nashville.
gulp of that?
Yeah.
You win.
Kornikova.
Wow.
Kornikova is her name. Anna
Kornikova, yes,
Kornikova.
yeah.
So we talked to Rebecca's dad's been on the show before. Dave
Yeah, he
Sanderson.
was supposed to be here today.
Yeah, he had a
Flea
show
market's
last-
happening.
Well,
Yeah,
he had a show last night, so he had like a real hard time like recovering from that.
Or did he get overserved again?
He got hammered.
Had some doers, did he?
Did that fan though?
Yeah, he's
put
a
in
good man.
work in here.
Oh yeah, great guy. But when he was here, he was telling us like he used to being a lifetime Giants fan that's lived his whole life in Connecticut.
Yep.
He's got a lot of training camp stories. So, do you
Yeah,
guys have,
When they used to train at Fairfield
Did
U.
you bring
Yeah.
the ball in?
I used to
Tyler?
sell them
Tyler
newspapers
has
when
it.
they trained there.
Yeah.
do you guys
Yeah.
have any cool stories from like the sports that you're fans of?
Yeah,
I mean, like, you live in Chicago 15 years. Everybody that's ever suited up in a Chicago jersey is very much involved in the community in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
You see a lot of.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time I went
It's
to Chicago
unbelievable.
and can like remember it was when I was 7 years old. I went with my dad for 3
I got
weeks.
A cool story.
And we were in Chicago visiting his sister and my aunt, and we were doing all kinds of stuff. We were going around the city. She was showing me all kinds of stuff, and all of a sudden we go to the Sears Tower. Now it's the Willis Tower,
Right.
but so we go to the Sears Tower. She's like, "Let's go all the way to the top floor. You can see everything." So we go up there, and all of a sudden we get up there, and there's like this huge crowd of people and all these cameras and stuff like this, and we're going to figure it out, like what's going on. All of a sudden, just casually in the corner, they're doing like a 15-year like or whatever, or like 10-year anniversary of like the championship, the second three-peat from the Bulls. So just casually, there's just John Paxson, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman
Just hanging?
sitting in the corner of the Sears Tower taking pictures over the skyline of Chicago.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my God, because growing up,
You were like a little
I was
groupie.
watching Chicago Bulls basketball, but they weren't that good at the time. And so, my dad was like, oh, this is Chicago Bulls basketball that, you missed when you were little. And he was showing me, and I fell in love with Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
And that was like the guy. Like Scottie
Real
Pippen.
good-looking guy, huh?
Hey, why don't you watch your mouth?
He was also a Portland
Think you-
Trailblazer. Just let
think
that
you
And
hit a nerve
also,
there.
you just earned John Jenkins one unfollow from our Instagram page.
Aw.
'Cause I logged into that today, and I didn't care for any of those posts. You got to follow all our team's stuff. I want there to be Leonard
the
Floyd
thing.
follows.
Here's
No,
I followed him because he's from Meriden, and I sent him a message trying to get him on the show.
but
Who's he
like
playing?
you just like
Giants.
Chicago stuff.
Giants
Like
now?
it's harder because like the Giants, Yankees, Mets,
Yep.
Knicks, Nets, Rangers.
where we
They
live.
encompass a very large geographical area. The
Yeah.
Boston sports.
A lot of people I know go to Florida to Yankee training camp. That's
Kendall's
That's the only time you get close to the guys.
Kendall's roommate in college for 3 out of the 4 years goes to Florida for the Mets training camp every year. For
He says
spring
he loves
training.
Get to watch some quality baseball before
But-
they start losing.
Well, we used to go all the time when I lived in Florida for 7 years, and we used to go to all the different teams' spring training camps and all that
I
stuff.
took the kids to the
Clearwater?
Giants.
Mhm.
We went
Yeah,
up to Albany a couple times, and we were Shockey. We were always waiting for Shockey, Jeremy Shockey, to come, and he always hid. But we got Tiki.
Yeah, we met
We
Tiki
got
Barber,
Coach.
met Coughlin. Remember, met
The kicker. The kicker was
Lawrence
jacked
Tynes.
up. Jesus Christ.
Kendall
was
met
huge.
David Tyree at a McDonald's.
Didn't Eli walk by us? We couldn't get him.
See, the way like the training camp thing works is every day like a different star has a day
Has to stop.
to
He
stay
has
back and
he has to
sign.
do
And
the-
so
we caught Tiki
we were
Barber
there
today.
for Tiki Barber. But like we saw Strahan run by,
I'm
Eli
sorry.
ran by.
At the time,
But it was
wasn't
before
sorry.
he was an asshole.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's when he was
he's-
still
he's
cool.
a big time douche right now.
Yeah, it was right before he retired in his
Tiki or
prime.
His brother's nice.
Tiki Barber.
Rondé.
Yeah.
But
He's on TV now too, right?
Yeah, he does. Like,
Tiki Barber does
They
the
both-
barbershop commercials.
they both were on the was it the Thursday night game or Monday night? It was
well,
Monday night last week.
because Rondé usually does like the third Fox game, like not
Yeah.
the most
Yeah,
important,
yeah.
but he does like the third game.
And another little sidebar, but an unexpected cool thing I ran into. I took the kids to meet John Cena with Meriden Mall.
Married them all.
So I'm standing there, I don't know, a couple hours.
That was cool.
Standing there having coffee.
That's a
They
Jeff
were
Hardy.
little.
Mario
I'm
was
like,
there,
I got to
too.
go do this wrestler for these kids. We get up to the
Beat up.
table. The guy stands up, shakes my hand. My whole hand disappears. He was a mountain, dude. I couldn't believe it. He was so nice. Smiled. You got a picture at a signing, right?
Yeah, I have the signed picture. He was huge.
When
He stood up. He was a mountain.
Everyone
I
look
was
at
9
Rebecca right now.
when
How
I was-
jealous she is.
I got a funny ass
That
story.
dude, you would disappear.
When I was 9, we went to
Your Kendall
Hartford
who?
for Raw.
Kendall who?
Real fast.
No, she thinks Dean Ambrose is like the hottest thing rocking. You know, that guy looks like a
He
dumpster
an anteater.
fire.
He looks like the Philly fanatic.
But I was 9. My dad took me. I'd
Take a shot.
never gone to like a live Raw or anything like that.
What is that?
Oh, don't worry about it.
No.
No.
Good.
It's
Come
a
on,
bunch of
yeah.
different nips mixed together. But
That's our private stock.
yeah, we put a
What is that floating up top?
rum
You need-
cream
Exactly.
liqueur.
You need to clean that.
We got to finish that. We're finishing it and throwing that bottle away.
Kendall won't let us get rid of it.
No, we're gonna we're gonna age some graves in this.
Oh
Yeah.
man! All right,
man.
all right. I'm on board again.
But so, yeah, I went to my first. Trying not to talk too much WWE, but sometimes it's fun.
Go ahead.
But we went to Raw, and after the show, they were doing this. That like my dad bought like meet and greet tickets, and there was like a bunch of B-listers that were down. You know, like the Hurricane was down
The
there.
guys that have
That's
to
cool.
do it.
Yeah.
Guys,
Like the Hurricane, Scotty Too Hottie. Like,
What's wrong with this?
You're
No,
making
there's
Kyle's day.
there's nothing wrong with it, but it's like, as a kid, if you're
You
going,
want to meet The Rock.
yeah, like if you're going to Raw, you're like, I want to meet Stone Cold, I want to meet Triple H. Like, I
Undertaker,
don't want to meet Scotty Too Hottie. I'm
Did they
glad I
dance?
did, but no, I didn't ask him to do the worm, Kyle.
I bet you
But-
also lost his match that day.
He didn't wrestle that day. But it was all of a sudden like this group starts walking by, and they're like, "Oh, you guys signing autographs? We'd love to come over." And so they're like, the guys were like, "Oh yeah, definitely come over. The kids will love it." So they come over, and all of a sudden, Rikishi's over there, and you're just like, "Wow,
Stink face.
this guy's huge." But then all of a sudden, I'm sitting there getting my autograph signed, and I just feel a tap on my shoulder, and I turn around, and I'm, as a 9-year-old boy, standing there looking straight eye level with the Undertaker's knee,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, "Wow,
Yeah.
6'10", 310 pounds. This
Oh, you had Fat Taker.
what? Fat Taker. Sorry, as opposed to the 299 he is now. But he's just sitting there. I'm just like,
Yeah.
holy crap. My dad's looking at him, pale face. He's just like, because my dad
Imagine
dad
if-
just naturally looks like Paul Bearer anyway.
Imagine
But-
if you ever ran into the what's his name?
What to say?
Andre the Giant.
Oh my God, couldn't even imagine.
Did you ever see the picture of his hand with the beer can in it?
Yeah,
That guy's on
It
record.
looks
like
like
the
a
size of his
thimble.
thumb.
It looks like a thimble.
He's drank like 140 beers at a
because he
clip
suffered from giantism.
Well,
which was
what
like-
you,
so the
what's his
metabolisms
name?
and everything.
Wade Boggs used to do that too.
on a flight.
What's the thing, Kendall? Wade Boggs claimed that he drank how many beers before a
It
game?
was like 190 beers.
I thought it was 72 on the
No,
cross
130.
country.
no,
35
I,
is the number I
I'm mixing
remember.
up my.
And it was on a
my,
plane ride, on a flight.
Yeah.
It was
Cleaned out the
72.
plane.
See the ball,
It's-
hit the ball.
Because
Hey, well, if it makes you better, it makes you better, right?
They spoofed it on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They were trying to do it. And it was like 75 beers or something on the flight.
Oh my god, you got ripped.
High altitude too.
The thing is, they
This
brought
is
in
the
their
only ball
own
that I
beers.
have.
that would only happen to Wade Boggs because on a flight they watch you because the air's thinner.
Yeah.
And when I was on a Virgin Atlantic flight once, the first thing they announce is we decide when you've had enough. The air's thinner up here. You can't drink like you drink it on the ground.
Right.
So if you're a drinker and you think you can handle 10, they give you 4 and say go to bed. They do shut you down if they think you're
Yeah.
getting there. You know.
That's why you load up at the bar before you get on the
When I
plane.
flew to Czech
That's
by myself.
expensive though.
That was the greatest thing. I got bumped from a flight that they shouldn't have bumped me on.
So you flew for nothing?
I flew
So
for
now you
nothing.
now you had cash in your pocket?
Well, I flew for nothing, and they gave me. So it was when I was in Florida coming back up. It was not my last flight back up, but the flight before that. And they had some steakhouse. I forget what it was, but in the restaurant, or one of the restaurants in the
Outback.
airport. No. But they're sitting there like, they're like, your flight's not for another 6 hours, and I'm like, well, I mean, they're like, I'm sorry. I'm like, well, there's not much I can do about it.
Here's a voucher for the Sky Club or something?
Here's a voucher for the steakhouse restaurant over there, $100 voucher.
Nice.
And I'm sitting there, I'm just like, well,
Can I drink that, honey?
I ate a lot of food before I got here, so we're gonna see how many gin and tonics $100 can buy
there you go.
me. And the answer is enough.
You can make it on the plane.
Yeah, I'm sitting there,
Get
and
on
I
the
have
right plane.
I'm sitting there at the end, pretty much cocked off my ass, and I'm sitting because I'm just drinking Hendrix the whole time. I'm going top shelf the whole time. So I'm sitting there, I have half of one left, and I was like, how much do I have left on my voucher? Because they were getting ready to start boarding the plane. She goes, you have enough for one more drink, and then you'd have like $1 left. I
Make
was
it
like,
to go.
so I was just like, can you put it in the plastic cup so I can get it to go? She goes, we have big plastic cups. You can dump the rest of your drink and the one I'll make you in it. I was
Oh,
like,
you
let's
gotta
do
love
that.
service
I was
like
like,
that.
let's do that. And I just reached in my pocket and I was just like, whatever cash I grabbed, I was just like, here's your tip. I think it was like $40. And I was like, here you go. I was like, take the extra $1 off the voucher, get yourself something nice. Went on the plane, drank the rest
You know
of
what,
them.
though? That's the kind of service you want. Sometimes people don't do that. They say,
Yeah.
no, I can't do that. You can't go on
Yeah.
a plane. And
It's great. People are great.
Funny Molster real quick.
Sometimes.
Oh, God, here we go.
You
Sometimes.
were talking about training camp stories.
Yeah.
I was about 7 years old.
Look at
My
your mom.
aunt worked in the cafeteria at Fairfield U, and the Giants were training there.
Yeah.
So she got me and my cousin a job selling newspapers.
Nice.
Okay, so Roosevelt Greer, who you guys have probably never even heard of, was a defensive lineman for the
Rosie
Giants. Rosie Greer, yeah. Okay. They used to pick us up and throw us around like we were football. They played catch with us.
Roosevelt Knicks, baby.
It was like, oh!
Best fullback in football.
Incorrect.
He's the only one left.
Kyle Usyk.
I forgot about him.
Yeah, so did I.
You know, Kyle Usyk, the fullback that's, like the only fullback rated above 75 in
The
Madden.
only fullback I remember, and I hated him, was that Moose. James Johnson for Dallas. He
Who's
ruined
the-
a lot of games for the Giants.
What was
Joe
the
Johnston?
who was the John Kuhn?
John Kuhn, yeah.
That was the fullback for the Packers for a while.
Then went to the Saints.
Yeah,
Yep.
and had that 3 touchdown game.
That was it.
That was hilarious.
Speaking of football, we'll keep talking, but
Move this mic a little closer.
every we'll give you like 3 minutes or so. So we got to do our compensatory picks before the hour gets up. So it's reverse order from the regular draft. So just to recap for the listeners, since I drafted last,
We got listeners?
I'll go first. Oh, sometimes.
Every once in a while.
All 3 of them?
We get a lot of listeners after the fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people
On
because
the podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's on the app and everything permanently afterwards, and then
So I can listen to this later?
yep.
Yeah.
Mach Sr can show you the Podbean app, all kinds of stuff.
Listen,
I
we're,
can let
we're
Mugda
everywhere.
laugh at me later?
Yeah.
As long as you translate the whole time.
So I have the first pick. Yeah. I'm sure there's an English to check button on there. I go first.
CAP.
Kendall second. Rebecca will be third.
Oh, man,
Mach
I had
Sr's
nobody
fourth.
in mind.
Kyle's fifth, and then Jeff is last. But Jeff already got his pick because we had some quarterback issues.
Whoa.
Just
I picked before Jeff.
Nah, we had. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is active. I just got the notification on it, but just in case he wasn't.
I just want my one guy.
So I already made my pick. I went first. I picked up James Conner from the Steelers.
That's not the guy I want. I know he was picking him.
All right.
I'll just- No, you can wait. Take your time. You don't. have
Okay.
to-
Well, I had someone in mind. I'm gonna.
Oh, okay. Do you have it,
I'm gonna get the Thompson from the Redskins.
Chris Thompson?
Yeah.
Is he not picked?
He's not picked. He's available right here.
crap!
Quick pick.
Remember, there were 6 teams.
I know,
Yeah.
but like, fuck.
So Rebecca, you're up, and you take your time. Don't feel the need to rush. We're going to talk. So
She's not rushing.
okay. So this is going a lot quicker than I ever would have anticipated. Which guy? James White?
Oh God.
Pick him. I swear to God, I'm gonna RKO you.
Nelson Aguilar?
You can pick him. I don't care.
You need to take him.
All right. So Mock, do you have yours? Might as well just bang this out in 1-5
Hold on. I gotta.
I have no idea what this is.
for fantasy
I
football.
don't do fantasy
It's
football.
fantasy-
I love it.
So for the show, we're just
I
doing.
beat your son all the
Fantasies are,
time.
fantasies are strictly for porno.
That's
So
right.
you know
Don't
the-
you
you
do
know
it.
the-
I see the
I
words
agree.
coming out of your
Real quick,
mouth.
though,
I saw the word.
for
I
fantasy
saw
football,
the letter
it's a
coming
funny
out
thing.
of your
So,
mouth.
I'm not a fan of fantasy football anymore either. I was a big fan of it when it first started coming out, but I found that it just ruined the game for me because I watch games like I can watch football. We talked about it earlier with the watching the sports. I can watch football and enjoy it as opposed to many
But
other
now
sports.
you're just cheering for one guy in
Right.
this
So like
game,
a
one
game
guy
for
in
me,
that
like
game.
if I were to sit down and watch, the Ravens play the 49ers, I don't personally. I know these two
I could
would.
give a crap
I
about
could
either
give
one.
it 2 shits who wins that game. As long as it's a good game,
Yep.
I don't give a crap who puts up great things. But now all of a sudden,
You got to worry about this guy.
I have Garoppolo sitting on my bench, and I want him to start heating up so that I can put him into my starting lineup. And he goes out there and throws 3 picks, and now I'm fucking pissed. Now I'm mad. I'm not enjoying the game.
for
Turns
no
out it's a
reason.
24-23 last-second field goal win for Tucker, and the game was great. We have 700-yard rushers in the game.
Don't do it,
Whatever.
please.
Could be the
Means
world's
nothing
best
to you.
game. Too pissed off to care.
I saw
So-
the letter. I saw
And
the letter
the
that
thing
Mock
too
was
for me is
about to
I
say.
can't properly play fantasy football. Lifetime Bears fan. I'm a diehard fan of the best rivalry in football history. I will not draft the Green Bay Packer. I will not do it. I won't
Well, that's
play.
going to kill your draft every year.
And I will
And
not
so,
draft the
but-
Raven Bengal.
so when it goes with somebody like that, it's along those lines. Where it's like I'm sitting here, and it happened to me 2 years ago. I played in a league at work, and it got down to the 6th round, and nobody drafted a quarterback. The only quarterback that went was Tom Brady. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, Aaron Rodgers is still there.
In the 6th round, you have to take Aaron
In the
Rodgers.
6th round, I'm sitting there looking, I'm like, Aaron Rodgers is still there. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Julian Edelman. Punching it in. I'm not taking it. I'm not taking him.
I would have taken him to
No,
trade him.
because that for the Packers, the Lions and the Vikings, I'll make an exception. There's only 2 games a year I'll never root for a Viking or a Lion, because I will root for them to beat the Packers, every time.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if the Vikings and the Bears are tied at 15-0 or whatever to whatever the record would be. I know it's not 15-0, but if they're tied
Packers
and if the
win.
Vikings win, they get the division and we get the wild card. Beat the fucking Packers. You beat them. Leave it on us to beat the team we got to play. Fuck the Packers. I'll never in a million
You
years
don't
root for
hate
them.
the Lions, do you? Like, they were passion.
The
The
Lions.
Lions you never really have to worry about because they always sucked for so many years.
Yeah,
now
the-
you kind of got
Now,
to worry
the
about
Lions have just molded into a team that went from just being terrible to being a team that beats themselves.
Right.
So you can do the math over the decades how long they've been bad. Somewhere around, I don't know, my 50th birthday, they'll make the playoffs and make
Who
it
was
to
the guy that they had the running back?
Barry Sanders.
Sanders.
He was like the
My
best
dad
ever.
loved
Barry
He was on the
Barry
team
Sanders-
that had a blocker.
That was the one guy my dad loved.
He would have broke
growing
every
up.
record ever.
Barry Sanders would have been the greatest running back of all time if he had a
If he-
team that
if-
won any games and gave him a
When
will to
fantasy
play.
first started,
Exactly.
my dad had Barry Sanders and Dan Marino. Holy shit! All right.
That was back when they used abacuses. Abaci? Was it Abaci?
Yeah, Marino was a good quarterback. He couldn't
He-
win the
he-
big games either.
That is my greatest
He wouldn't have
possession.
The reason for that though was because the Dolphins never had anybody around him.
Exactly.
Like
Right.
the offense
They couldn't
was good,
afford anybody else.
Like the defense was terrible.
So I have my pick.
Oh fuck! I know who he's picking. I
Yeah?
know it. I saw the word. I saw the letter.
Who do you think it is, Kyle?
Did it start with a G?
It does.
Who are you taking, Mock?
George Kittle.
Oh, that's fine.
Who the hell is George Kittle?
Mock needs a tight end.
Needed
Because,
a tight end.
Because
Delaney Walker.
his has gotten loose over the
I
years.
had
No, because Greg Olsen got hurt.
Giovanni Bernard.
Ew.
He's starting,
taken,
bro.
But he was taken, but okay.
Was he?
No, Kyle, you see me typing it right here on the sheet.
I need
Like, I'm
another
literally
running back.
typing it right in front of your fucking face.
George Kittle sounds like a guy like you hear on Forensic Files. Like, you know?
It's popcorn or something.
Dude, I saw the G come out of your mouth and I'm like, oh boy,
I don't want
corn.
Giovanni Bernard.
he's starting. So.
He can go
So-
rot on your team.
I think the one thing
I'm gonna play him.
sports-wise that I have on people is at the table is we have a lot of sports that get followed. Kyle, hands down at the table, biggest baseball fan, at least for
I
our
agree
group.
with you.
But probably at this table as well. Kyle's watched baseball his whole life. He's played it his whole life. He's coaching
Well,
it
he's
now.
on the field. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, sir. Kyle's been the rosin
And I
bag
love
for every
it.
team he's been on.
I love
But
The rosin bag.
Mach Sr, are we
That's
getting
mean.
more Czech beers? What's going on?
Oh yeah, I thought we were doing the other two in the last hour.
Oh, okay. All right. My bad.
No,
My
just
bad.
keep going,
That's
dude.
fine.
I could drink more.
So, who do the Steelers play today? I
Kansas
know who,
City.
I know who my Giants
The
play
Steelers
today.
are playing Kansas
Eric's,
City.
Eric's team.
That's a tough one.
Oh man.
So you and Eric got something to argue about. Where are you at?
Bears play tomorrow night. They play the Seahawks.
Another
That's a
tough
good
one.
game. That's like a
There?
sneaky good
I
game.
think
There
they're
or
gonna win.
Chicago?
Chicago.
I find it interesting that the Bears are favored. They're given 5.5.
Yeah.
I thought they were given 3.
The Seahawks.
Either way.
The only thing the Seahawks played terrible in their first game. Case Keenum just
Seahawks
played a
are
little bit
always
worse.
Tough at home. I know that.
I mean, he threw
They're
3
playing in
touchdowns,
Chicago,
but
though.
threw
Yeah.
picks.
They're in Chicago.
Case Keenum played really bad. His defense bailed him out of that game, and that's why Seattle ended up
He
losing
threw
that
3
game.
touchdowns.
But he also threw 3 picks.
You got to figure. I mean, Seattle, their defense is falling apart.
It's
The
just old.
offensive line is bad. They, Doug Baldwin's out. They don't have a running back. It's just
Well, I'm gonna say this. I will defend Chris Carson. He broke his ankle last year. He will be good.
But
I just don't-
There's just nowhere for him to run.
And I get that. And I also don't know why they drafted Rashard Penny in the first round. That could have easily been our offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Because the Seahawks like to take guys from small schools and try to like.
no.
They like to
You're-
find guys that play at Gateway
No,
Community College
no.
and make them
You guys are
superstars.
all wrong. Has nothing to do with the draft. The Seahawks, they go through. This is what the Seahawks do. What one person in every fantasy league does. The Seahawks go in on NFL Draft Day, the weekend for whatever the whole thing, and the general manager just opens up the computer to the NFL Draft website that they use and just puts it on auto draft. Next best player gets picked by the Seahawks.
And-
Then everybody gets together and looks at everybody that's not drafted, and those are the future Pro Bowlers of the Seahawks.
I just
Right.
want to know. I didn't really get to see the stats.
Wasn't Doug Baldwin not drafted?
No, he wasn't drafted at all.
He was
Think
undrafted.
about all
Can
the
someone
stars
just look
and
at
all the
Shaq
Wasn't Golden
Griffin's,
Tate also not
Shaquille
drafted?
Griffin's stats for this week? The linebacker, the one hand. Because I want to know how he did. 'Cause I don't know. He's such a good
I
story.
can find that during the break, Kyle.
I just want to know.
So many
I don't
top
know.
drafts never pan out, and guys that come up from
The
the
draft
bottom,
is a
you never
crapshoot.
pick.
Yeah,
It is.
you gotta.
It is.
Because Tom Brady was what, 6th, 7th,
Sixth
8th
round.
round?
6th round.
6. Yeah.
Was supposed to be a
199.
catcher for the Expos.
Actually, I read a thing the other day that they're talking about pushing the NFL draft to 10 rounds.
Well, it used to be like
They'll be
15.
picking right out of high school then.
Well, no, it used to be 18. Yeah,
It used to be.
it was 18.
It
Yeah.
took a long time to
Terry
do
Crews
it,
was
too.
drafted in the 11th round.
What is it now? Is it 10?
It's 7.
7.
Seven.
7. Yeah, that's right.
In fact, a lot of
What's
great
Shaquem?
players from the 70s, 80s, very late round, like
What's his name, Phil?
13, 14 round picks.
Shaquem?
I don't know why it was just number of players or roster size has always been
Because the
relatively the
Steelers that
same.
won
Well,
draft.
it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the
Because the
NBA.
Steelers back in the 70s had that one draft where they drafted 4 Hall of Famers.
3
Right.
tackles.
3 tackles.
That was a stat sheet.
When they drafted Mike Webster, they got Lynn Swan in that draft. They got I forgot which receiver it was.
Stop looking at me.
Stallworth.
Stallworth, yeah.
I think it was
the
Stallworth.
same
It was
one.
like the
Yeah.
third or fourth round.
Heinz played for
No,
40 years.
Stallworth? No, Star Wars.
No, it was
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Steelers.
Yeah, I remember they
When he
drafted
was
four
playing with Lynn
Hall
Swan,
of
right?
Famers in
Yeah.
the early 70s.
I remember those catches and all that.
Yeah.
It's been on every highlight reel ever.
Like, honestly, the draft is just one of those things where like it's a hit or miss. You could even have like the Saints last year had a wonderful draft. They all panned out. They all worked out in their favor. You know,
Yeah.
5th or 6th round picks started. They played well. Kamara was a 4th rounder. Now he's the starting running back.
Jordan Howard.
Jordan Howard
Also,
from
I think it
Indiana.
matters which team picks you. You could put anybody. You could put Tom Brady on Cleveland, and he will suck.
That's what
You're
like,
just
it depends on
bound
the
to
team.
not make it. They've killed a lot of young guys, putting them in spots.
Yeah.
In Cleveland.
Like Brady Quinn. Like
You know
he was
what I
supposed
mean?
to be a top 10 pick, ended up falling to 22.
Was Brady Quinn the one that was a rookie at 28?
That was Brandon Whedon.
Brandon
No,
Whedon.
Whedon. No.
Bookings like Brady Quinn
Then he held
came out
out.
of Notre Dame, supposed to be this high-powered
I forgot
offensive
about that.
weapon that
I'm gonna
like,
hold it. I got a family
he
to
kept
feed.
falling in the draft.
I'm 28.
And
My
like,
student
the
loans have
Browns
been on
didn't get
default
lucky,
for
but Aaron
9
Rodgers was
years.
the same way.
Yeah.
Like Alex Smith was drafted first, and Aaron Rodgers fell to 22. Green Bay picked him up, or 28 or something.
Something like that.
But
Late.
when Green Bay picked him up, they waited on him for a couple years, let him learn under Favre, then they gave him the job, and then
Well, see, that's the thing, though. That's a big part of it too. Like an Aaron Rodgers type of person. I think it's a fair argument to make. Do you think Aaron Rodgers is still the Aaron Rodgers that we've seen in the NFL if he were drafted and started right away?
No.
No.
He sat under Brett Favre.
to me,
Well,
it depends
for-
what team he's on.
Yeah, but then
I think
got
he would have been
thrown right
good
into
on
it.
certain
But here's the
teams.
thing. But here's the thing.
into
If
the
he
hot
got
seat.
drafted right away and started,
Are you saying for the Packers?
yeah,
I don't think
no,
so.
because the
If
Packers
they
then.
wait, if they
Because
thought
to me,
he was
if
going to
he
save the
got
team
drafted by
instantly,
like,
no.
say he got
Understand
drafted by the
something.
Steelers, who didn't have a standout quarterback at the time, I think he would have been a good. I do, but if he got drafted by like
good.
Buffalo or Tennessee,
I heard that.
I don't think he would have the same career.
Kendall heard it too.
I don't think he would have.
I think if he got drafted by the Steelers, he would have been a good. He would have been a good
We had Tommy
guy.
Maddox and Cordell Stewart, who weren't like.
Cordell Stewart's not good. Was never good.
I never said he was. I'm saying like they had him as a quarterback.
Kyle,
He was fun to watch
Kendall
for a half
ended
a
to
minute.
argue because he's not good.
Okay.
I didn't say
Let me say
He was a
this.
better quarterback for the Bears than he was a receiver for the Steelers.
No, he was a good
he
receiver.
was a fantastic receiver. That's right.
He was, in fact, he should have stayed as a receiver. He would have had a longer career and a more successful. But he wanted to play quarterback, and they let him
he
do it.
played quarterback at Colorado.
Real quick, backtrack. We were talking about the sports stuff. And my thing is, growing up, my dad really got me into sports cards. He tried to get me into baseball cards. Couldn't be about it. As a kid, I was like, I don't want to buy a pack of cards, like 7,000 cards, and have 6,999 of them be worth 2 pennies,
Yeah.
and then one be worth $10.
Right.
Football cards have more value in them, and then I hung on to it. But my most prized possession,
It's all according to who you're selling it to, though.
right? And I've made
There's people out
some
there
good money off of
collecting
cards
Ninja
I
Turtle
sold
cards
because
still.
one of the cards I got didn't want to own it, didn't want it in my collection, didn't want to possess it.
There you
Autographed
go.
jersey patch Aaron Rodgers card. Got it in a factory set that I bought from a card shop. Opened it up. I was just like, "What can you give me for this?" He's like, "You don't want to know how much it's worth?" I was like, "I want to know how much it's worth in other things besides this card." And out of the deal, I got a Brian Urlacher autograph rookie card. I got I actually got a John Harbaugh rookie card. I just saw it. I was like, "This is kind of cool. Who has this?" I got that, and then I got a Walter Payton card with a piece of a football in it from a game that he
Piece
rushed.
of a football.
Piece of a football from like a game used football from like, I think it's on the back. I think it was a game. I think he rushed for like 140 something and 2 touchdowns. I think it was against the Lions.
That's pretty
If
cool.
I can remember that, because the Aaron Rodgers card was worth like $450. But I was like, if you don't take this, it's going to be kindling. Very expensive kindling. But my most prized possession in the football card world is I have a factory sealed, unopened box set, and I got it from Topps when like Topps was doing like a closeout sale online on a bunch of stuff. I paid. It was like an auction thing, like a big lot, and like you don't know what you're gonna get. It was like it was going to charity type of thing. It was $400, and you got an allotment of I think it was like 5,000 cards or something like that. And it was go to charity, but they guaranteed you're gonna get good stuff. And in my box, I got a factory sealed, still not opened, the 1983 complete box set unopened, which is worth a lot of money because that's John Elway, that's Dan Marino.
Oh, that's the quarterback.
It's what's regarded as the best quarterback draft class of all time.
Don't you have the Peyton Manning rookie too? Was it the rookie?
Yeah, I have a Peyton Manning rookie card. I have a graded one. So it's when they're graded cards, they're made by machine and then immediately from machine inserted into sealed plastic with the grade on it, and the grade is usually somewhere from 9.5 to 10 because machines make imperfections in cards. I mean, a little bit of weathering or whatever. And so I have a 9.9 graded Peyton Manning rookie card from 1998,
Well,
and it's worth
$10.
I think it's somewhere
It's worth what somebody's willing to pay for it.
right.
So real
book,
quick,
so book value. Book
in the
value
Facebook
after
live
he
chat-
retired, it went from 8 to 15.
10th message, Paul, give it to you. Come on, comment.
What? Live silent auction. You're getting torched with drunk. Not enough. But you hang on to certain people. Like there's certain players that I loved growing up that like I have tons of their cards that are worth nothing. Every Brian Urlacher card I've ever come across I've kept. Charles Tillman, Matt Forte, and then like there's other players too, LaDainian Tomlinson. There's just certain Torrey Holt. Any card I have of theirs I keep, no matter how much it's
That
worth.
guy's got messed up hands.
Yeah, there's only two division players that I'll ever be a fan of, and one of them is a Packer, which sucks. But
Is it?
Golden Tate.
Oh, okay.
I like Golden Tate because I thought he was very talented when he was
Clay
in Seattle.
Matthews?
No, I respect Clay Matthews.
Okay.
Um,
AJ Hawk.
So you can go ahead and put
Those are
cyanide.
two guys that look alike, right? With the long blonde
Clay
hair.
Matthews
Yeah.
and AJ Hawk. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and pour
You
cyanide
talk
from.
about Kevin Nash all the time.
Yeah, but I didn't say he was your favorite.
AJ Hawk and Brady Quinn are related.
No,
No.
and Brett Favre.
Yeah.
I respect Brett Favre a lot, and when, I got a chance to like Brett Favre for one whole year before he came back and played for Minnesota. But in that year, he showed his penis to a woman
I was gonna say,
on
did
the
you get the
internet.
pic?
So
Yeah.
good for him.
Did you get the
bless
pick?
him.
I got
I have the
I got a
pick.
question from Uncle Bob.
I keep confusing it with Kyle's
Okay.
picks, but
Just a quick question. You watch college football at all?
No.
No? Okay, never mind.
so there are no follow-up questions now.
That's a whole nother mess.
College football, college sports to me are a joke.
Well,
Okay.
my
They-
question
it's-
was,
yeah.
just because you had, like, you've watched football for your whole life, was that growing up and, like, nowadays, like, what school brought out the best players?
For football?
Yeah,
Well-
because, like, SEC really doesn't bring out the best players.
Defensive
Big-
players.
well,
Because, like,
Yeah.
you gotta
Alabama
realize,
has so many busts.
okay, I'm Irish.
But the defensive players do really well.
Yeah, but, like, I'm talking, like, overall, like,
Ta-da!
I'm Irish. Notre Dame. When I was a kid, Notre Dame they were football. Okay, college football. And right now, I think they're idiots. They need to join a conference.
yeah,
Okay.
playing Air Force doesn't really help them.
No. They need to join a conference, and
I think they
Eastern
did.
Connecticut State University is
I
looking
think
for clubs to
they
play
joined
against.
the ACC, didn't they?
only for everything except football.
Okay.
Okay, they are still an independent in football, and they're not that good anymore.
Can you
Because-
go to a national championship game if you're not in a conference?
Yeah.
But
Is
they
it
are.
really, really hard to do?
They're
So-
one of the exceptions.
So what happens is, like, really college football.
I need the Reader's Digest version. We got to go to break.
All right. Well, college football is based off of APP ranking, and every year Notre Dame has top 25 because they just play all the good teams.
Okay, that's all I needed to hear.
All right.
Good for you. You
Yeah.
did that. That was super efficient. Zion,
He's always got to bring his
They play like
microphone over.
USC.
Dave?
They play.
bring your mic in. Say hi.
This
That
one
one.
right there.
This
That
one
one.
here. I thought you were saying which Dave. I'm
Bring
like, you're
it
the only
to
Dave
you.
here.
Bring it all the way to you.
And I think the reason why they don't join a
No,
conference
no,
is so
no,
they
no.
can
Use
play
the arm.
USC and all these
And then-
other schools.
Headset.
Just in time for break.
Just in time for break, Dave.
Oh,
but
yeah.
we're bringing you in for the
Well,
break
say
anyway.
hello.
Well, just tell everybody that Diesel is here.
See, he knows. He knows.
And you wonder why I talk about AJ Hawk.
Hey, I didn't say Diesel. He said it. So, fuck off, man. But yeah, Dave's here. Rebecca's father. You're not on the air. But hello. We were talking about Uncle Bob. It's Uncle Bob, Dave. He's a
Hey,
big
Doc.
Chicago sports fan, so we get along really well. You've met Mach Sr. before. He brought us some delicious Czech beers to drink, and
Dad, that's Bob. Bob, this is my dad,
I
Mike.
know. I saw that.
that was your
that
job.
before.
That was
A
your
little
job.
late introduction. It's only an hour in. 2
I
hours
trust
in.
you to make introductions.
We
Well,
introduced
Rebecca
on the
to do
way
it.
in.
All right, there we go.
But so we're gonna go to break. When we come back, we're gonna do our weekly around the horns on all the matchups coming up for week 2 for football, and give score predictions. Talk about it, whatever. Obviously, we will take a little extra time, given the guests that we have. We'll highlight the Giants game. We have two Giants fans in the house. We'll highlight the Bears game, and because we can't leave them out, we'll talk about the Steelers Chiefs.
So we can leave them out.
We can leave them out. So yeah, we'll be back shortly, and make sure to stay tuned in. Welcome back to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your host, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by assholes everywhere.
Another
All
new
of them.
edition.
Another new edition.
Hanging from the
This has
ceiling.
been a good show. Every time we come back from break, there's been like a new asshole added in.
They're multiplying.
Yeah, we almost got a full room. We got to do that one time. But we're not going to tell Peter about it. What we're going to do is we're going to just add more mics.
Hey, Vinny.
I'm talking ceiling, floor, other rooms,
Yeah.
bathrooms.
Real quick, we're on to our third Czech beer. This one's my personal favorite, the Gambrinus 10. Enjoy it.
Enjoy.
What's the 10 stand for?
10 years aged.
10 years.
No,
Aged
that's
in
the
what?
percent.
10%.
No, there's
No. Because on the
I
side
was going to
it
say, wow.
says 4.3.
I was like, this is
I
a
don't know,
very
it's just
dangerous 10% beer.
I don't know what the 10 is. It's
So
10
It's
out
a
of 10.
little, it's got
I
a
was
little
just
heartier
curious.
flavor than the first two.
Yeah. The Gambrinus is my favorite one. So,
are you done?
yeah. I just wanted to say what it was.
It's the Kevin Nash of Czech beers.
No,
it's delicious,
no.
It's awesome.
It's
and
the
it's big and
AJ
sexy.
Hawk of Czech beers.
Ooh.
So it
This
got
is
it.
become
Put them
personal.
together.
Wait a
It's
second.
AJ
So it-
Styles.
So it. Kyle, you're loving that private stock today. Huh?
Just finish it
Are
already.
you just drinking the chunks? Because it's gotten thinner since you've been drinking it.
I am very drunk right now.
There's goat cheese in there, Kyle.
So Riddler's rankings. Before we get into the NFL matchups,
Not good.
Don't. I wouldn't do it.
it's bad.
What's in it?
I don't know.
Remember
Lord
last time we
knows.
were here we had the pond water? That's
Pond
its,
water was good.
Yeah.
Bottom line was good.
So
I had-
that's its special needs.
Little
guy.
That's menstruation water.
Kyle's home brew.
Oh, from Vampire Teabag.
There you go.
Now you're getting somewhere.
Oh, it's not good.
Before we get into all the matchups, we're going to do Riddler's rankings. But today, Riddler's rankings has been commandeered by one Mojito Souls.
Mojito.
Gilberto.
Mojito Souls will be doing Riddler's rankings today. Top 5 running backs that should be started in fantasy this week. Today,
Go fast.
pretty much. Because really, the only one that played on Thursday got injured, so it doesn't really matter.
All right, so number one, we're going to go with cream.
That's the number one?
Yeah.
You're going to start with 1 and then get progressively
Going
worse?
1 to 5 or
Yeah.
5 to 1?
1 to 5.
You know why? Because he's making it up in his head, and he
Yeah.
can't think. He can't, like, put, like, okay, this guy should be number 1. Let me put that in the back.
Right.
And think of 5. Nope.
And don't be afraid to talk in that microphone.
All right. Steelers' run defense has been pretty terrible. Cream Hunt,
For 1 week.
all the time. Without Shazier, they're pretty hopeless. Cream Hunt should have a good day, and I don't believe in Mahomes yet. In my opinion,
What's he got to do with a running back?
a lot. I think
He
they're
won't,
gonna pound
he
the
won't,
ball.
he won't throw.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna have weeks where he's inaccurate, and I think today's the week where they're gonna feed Cream Hunt because he only had like 8 carries last week.
All right.
Yeah,
Number
I
2.
know.
Number 2.
Ezekiel Elliott versus the Giants. Elliott's he's always a play.
Yeah.
But I think it's a favorable matchup against New York.
They have a good run defense.
Yeah, but it's Elliott. He's gonna get 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. Giants will win the game, in my opinion, but I think Elliott goes off.
Save it for the predictions.
Yeah. For you guys keeping score at home,
Number 3.
mulling it over in his head. LaDainian Tomlinson, first.
What?
Kyle, what point do you say James Conner?
I don't think you should play Jim Conner this week
Why?
because I think the Steelers are gonna throw heavy. Without Eric Berry, I'm not getting into that.
All right, so number 3.
I'm gonna go with Chris McCaffrey. With Greg Olsen down and in your standard PPR leagues,
It's Panthers Falcons, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think McCaffrey is gonna get a lot of targets, receiving wise, and I think he's gonna get at least 8 catches today.
Number 4.
Number 4, we'll go with Tevin Coleman versus
Bingo.
Panthers. With Devonta Freeman down, Tevin Coleman slots in. He's another receiving back, and Panthers are kind of shaky on the defensive side of the ball against the pass.
Keep on. Tevin Coleman's a starting running back on any other team.
Yeah.
Not the Bears.
And then number 5, I'll do Adrian Peterson versus the Indianapolis Colts.
That's fair.
Peterson last year had 96 yards, I think, on 24 carries with a touchdown. I think he broke the 100-yard mark today, and I think he had another touchdown.
Will Barkley?
I hope Peterson keeps it up. I currently have a bet going with a guy I work with. Loser has to buy a round of golf. That I think Peterson's going to get 1,000 yards this season.
I think Barkley's a good play.
He's a Redskins fan, and he bet against me.
As a top 5 play, no. But as an overall play, yes.
I think Barkley's a better play this week than Hunt.
Steelers' run defense can't fucking tackle.
Did you watch the Cowboys' defense last week?
Did you watch the Steelers
game?
ever without Shazier?
But I mean, really, Cam Newton was running all over Dallas.
That's different. Quarterbacks and running backs are different when it comes to running. Because quarterbacks, you got to wait for the play to develop, then you see an opening. Running backs, it's just pound. Because the Steelers are playing 7-8 corners, they can't tackle.
Oh, your mom said the Steelers are going all the way.
Wow.
I hope so. But real quick, we about wrapped up with the rankings?
Yeah, I'm pretty much done.
Okay. Just real quick, because the Steelers-Browns game doesn't really need to be addressed any further than it is. I just want to say, everyone's going to say, oh, it's rained. This is the NFL, which stands for not for long if you can't play in the rain.
Well, my thing is with the Steeler game that they
Where's the privacy?
had a lot of fucking turnovers. And that's the reason why they lost that game.
You can go ahead and give that to someone.
I will drink that, but I did not come up with that line.
It doesn't matter. You said it.
Coach
If
for
the
the
Steelers
Falcons
didn't
and
fucking turn the
Oilers
ball over
with a
5
leather
times
jacket.
in that game, they would have won that game.
Jerry,
No.
Who came up with the line not for long?
Yeah.
Jerry
Coach
Jones?
for Houston.
No. Houston and Atlanta. Wore the leather jacket. Or the Glanville?
Glanville. He
Yeah.
was talking to a
Glanville.
referee when he
Yeah.
said
Doug.
Yeah.
Doug Clam.
I took that line. Thank you, Mr.
Jerry
Glanville.
Glanville.
Yuck.
But what were you saying there?
Forgot what we were talking about.
Kendall was talking about something.
Kendall said we're all done
Oh.
with the Pittsburgh-Cleveland game.
I mean, I think Cleveland looked good. I really do.
And honestly, the Steelers would have won that game if they didn't turn the ball over 5 times.
Right.
And if Boswell didn't miss that field goal, they would have won.
Right.
It's a lot of Steelers sucking the fucking road, and they suck against bad teams.
And Browns being the Browns. That's what it was.
Last year, we
Your
almost
mom
lost
said,
them.
"Watch your mouth."
Whatever. I'm sorry. Last year, we should have lost the Browns 2 week 1.
And week 17.
No, week 17 they beat them. Andrew
No.
Jones played.
Coleman dropped a game-winning touchdown.
The Browns were the Browns. were the Browns.
It is what it is. We tied, and we go against a decent team. We'll beat them because they're decent.
All right.
Playing down.
Fair enough.
What we do. Play down.
If they were the, let's say, pick a bad team.
NFL team.
The Dolphins, we get blown out of the water.
Dolphins also have a win.
Yeah, but we would have got blown out of the water.
Can we say? What about we say with the Bills?
We would get beat by 45 points.
It's kind of bold.
Is it safe to say the Bills are going to have the number 1 pick next year?
No,
Who's going to be worse than Buffalo?
we don't know yet, dude.
It's going to be
It's
Buffalo.
Week one,
It's going to be Buffalo.
and then if they do, they'll get a very good player.
They'll draft another quarterback.
Nick Bosa will probably be the number 1 pick.
But it was what we said. Peterman, low risk.
Yeah.
He did kind of what we thought, or at least in the back of our minds. And now they're ready. What was stat line for was it Allen there?
Allen?
He was like 6
He
for
played
15.
better, but he also came in at a shit show.
Right.
He scored 3 points.
The game script wasn't there for him.
But now he will start.
Yeah, he's starting this week.
So maybe on a fresh,
Who are they playing this week? Do we know?
San Diego.
San Diego.
So he's
So
facing a
LA,
tough
that's the
defense.
private side.
well, it's
all right.
forever San Diego.
We all say San Diego.
Yeah, it should be.
I-
We got to finish it though, so just help us out. It's disgusting.
I don't know. I'm not going to get into it yet.
I think I'm going to make a bold move in fantasy. I think I'm going to start James Conner and J.J. and sit Kareem Hunt. Even
Yeah?
though that was Kyle's number 1. Even though I'm going against what he did. I haven't decided. But, so we gotta wrap up that so we can get to the predictions and stuff like that. Mach Sr.'s got to venture out. So we're going to go a little out of order. We're going to start with the Sunday night game.
Thank you.
Giants, Cowboys.
Yeah.
In New York? No, in Dallas, right?
Dallas.
In Dallas.
In Dallas.
Giants always win in Dallas.
So
On the night games they do, yeah.
So let's do it. That's what we do. We do, the round the horn, kind of a quick discussion about it, and then we go around and do score predictions, winners, all that stuff. Anybody got anything to say? We got 3.5 Giants, 4.5 Giants fans here.
4.5. Who's the half?
Well, he was a Giants fan before he was a Bears fan, so I give him a half.
I think we're going to see Saquon Barkley really have a good day this week.
That's why I didn't trade him to you.
Really, I think he's going to have a great running day against Dallas. And, I mean, if he doesn't, then we're going to throw on Dallas because their defense is so
Odell Beckham.
really there's no one there to cover Odell. Mm-hmm. If they double him, then you're
He
going to
looked
see
really good last week, too.
He did. But if they double him, then you're going to see Shepard and Ingram light it up.
Exactly.
They
Even
don't
in
have
the passing game, though, Barkley can break through.
Yeah.
The only problem with that is the line's got to give Eli an extra 2 seconds because they're not. And that Flowers guy, sorry, but he's got to go. He's got to
Gotta
go.
go.
He's
Put a-
horrible.
Put a log there or something. It'll do a better job.
He got the start last week only because they put him in the new position. They were giving him a shot. I don't know if he'll start this week.
He's gonna start.
I mean, it's one
The
of those
potential
things.
is there. It's just you got to figure it out.
It's one of those things where you invested a first round pick in him, so you tend not to give
Yeah,
up
but
on those guys.
You're risking
You
Eli's
are.
life
You
leaving
are.
that guy out there.
Well, they also picked up another lineman.
Yeah,
The guy from the Jaguars, right?
Patriots.
Patriots.
We
Nick
signed
Solder?
Solder.
Yeah.
Oh, we did get a guy from the
No,
Jaguars
yeah,
too.
Jaguar.
Or
Yeah.
have the tight end help him or something.
But that's the thing. Like,
You're not
Flowers.
gonna get help out of Ingram.
We
Ingram's got to
invested.
catch a ball.
Yeah.
We invested the first round pick in Flowers, so you gotta.
But he's back at his home position.
Yeah, it's one of those that you
So
gotta.
you'll see what
you
happens.
gotta give him the chance, and
He showed
exhaust
what he
it.
was last year.
But that was he was playing out of
Out of
position.
position.
He was drafted as a right tackle. They had him on the left side.
And that's two different things.
It is. Everything's going
Radically
the opposite
different.
way.
Like Paul said last week, left tackle is one of the most important positions in the game.
If you have a right-handed quarterback,
Yeah,
Yeah.
But you do.
You're the black-
we do. I'm just saying.
I'm so torn on what to do with fantasy.
But I think Barkley. We're really going to see the Saquon show this week.
You saw the show last week. He broke off for a big run.
But you know what? We did, but we didn't. Because if he doesn't have that one big run, he didn't have a great. He didn't have a bad game, but he didn't have a great game. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I think this week
He had an
we're gonna-
above average
That's
performance
right.
from
He
a
had a
rookie.
decent game, but
But he also had Odell doing Odell things,
Yeah.
so he didn't need to have a great game.
And he
Exactly.
also had shake young offensive line would mix with guys that are just playing there.
Yeah.
Not a bad-
Saquon Barkley
not bad-
gives Odell an opportunity to do something that Antonio Brown has had the luxury, Julio Jones have had the luxury of doing their whole career, which is if you show up and you are having, which for them, an off day is still 6 receptions for 70 yards and a touchdown. That can be an off day for them. But you can afford to have that off day because you have a running back that can get the job done
Well, they
if
used
you're
to.
not doing it.
They
You're not
used
the
to.
guy who has
Who?
to win the game
Steelers.
every week.
James Conner's still that guy.
I don't.
I believe.
I don't understand what they're doing with Bell.
No,
I
it's
believe-
Bell.
Bell's being the ass.
it-
The
it's-
Steelers are doing the right thing, in my opinion.
I don't think the Steelers should trade him. And the reason I say that is because it's just going to be a waste of their time and a waste of Bell's time and a waste of other teams' time because Bell's not going to. They're not going to trade him unless the other team, because Bell's not going to agree to the trade type of thing unless there's a contract in the works.
Does he have a no trade clause?
No.
So
But the
he
Steelers are the same way, because
Well-
the Steelers are going to hold out on him because if he decides to not sign, if he doesn't sign his tenure by week 10, then the Steelers get him for like next to nothing next year.
He's already making $1 million. He already missed $1 million.
Yeah.
850.
over.
So
Times two
It's
now.
over $1 million now. So my opinion is that they're going to keep him and be like, you know what? You sign when you sign. We'll ride with what we got.
Yeah.
We got a talented team enough to win.
I say trade him. We just saw it with Mac. I mean, a team is going to be willing, like the Bears did, to trade 2 first-round picks and give them the money.
And we can probably get the running back if we really want it.
That's
My thing is, forget Bell though. My thing is with the Steelers, much like Chicago Bears have been for a long time. I think they're the type of team where you can insert any name into that backfield, and they're going to be a successful running back. James Conner's not going to be Bell,
Right?
but you don't need Bell because you have Schuster and Brown. Just like with the Bears. Like the Bears, Forte was good his entire career as a Chicago Bear. Howard was good right out of the gate. Week 4, his rookie year, up until right now,
And he's still
is good. Tariq Cohen has been lights out since he put on a Bears uniform. Look at people. Anthony Thomas was lights out as a Bear, not that great elsewhere. Bernard Berrian was really good as a Bear. Like these,
And you know, the one thing
Not
that
Bernard
that
Berrian,
interests me is
Cedric
that
Benson.
the Bears'
Right.
offensive line is so underrated.
and the Bears offensive line is always very good at run blocking.
Yes.
Pass blocking, they're not always the greatest. They weren't that great in the Jay Cutler era. Combine that with Jay Cutler's
Jay
ability.
Cutler wasn't good in the Jay Cutler era.
But I'm saying, like Jay Cutler takes a lot of sacks, but the offensive line was also not good at pass blocking. But the running backs that you plug in since before Walter Payton have always been productive.
Yes.
And it's the same thing with the Steelers. James Conner's not going to be Bell, but you don't need Bell.
No.
And they proved it last
You
week
need a
that they don't
serviceable
need
running
Bell.
back.
What they last week they were was a 25% of himself, Ben Roethlisberger, away from winning. Ben Roethlisberger was just garbage last year
It is
or
week
last
1,
week.
Getting
You-
the rust out. He
But-
played 1 preseason game, and that's it.
All right, so let's go around because predictions. So we can get Mach Sr. on the road. We got to get. We have a bunch of other games we got to get to. So predictions. Uncle Bob,
I'm picking the Giants.
got to give a score.
Oh, 24-17.
Okay.
Giants 2010.
Ooh.
Giants 28-14.
Giants 27-20.
Giants 31-7.
Wow.
He's giving the Giants 31, huh? That's a good one. You're going along.
Mr. Sanderson?
I was going to say Giants 24-17 myself.
Giants 42, Cowboys 6.
That would be awesome. That'd be awesome.
That would
I
be
take
awesome.
back all the AJ Hawks. That's awesome.
As long
I
as
increase
they,
the amount of diesels.
as long as the TV coverage has Jerry Jones's face on camera
Turning
as the
beat
final
red.
And it's
seconds
Sunday night, so that means it's
tick off the
Collinsworth,
clock.
right?
Oh,
Yep,
we get
Collinsworth
Collinsworth.
Martin.
Here's a guy.
And a
Here's a guy.
defrosted
You know what,
Al
though? We were
Michaels.
watching that.
Yeah. Al Michaels has looked good
Packer
since
game.
they
Yeah.
cryogenically
said
freeze him every
17.
week.
Oh, my God. Chris Collinsworth said, here's a guy 9 times in one sentence for the Packers game. All right, so let's move on to the next matchup. Kyle, what do you got? Let's go Carolina-Atlanta. That's 1 o'clock game.
Carolina?
I think that game, in my opinion, really this game,
What's up, Rob?
this game lives and dies by Matt Ryan's ability to throw the football.
Real quick, my dad's taking off. Thank you for
Gentlemen,
coming
thank
down.
Mach Sr., thank you for coming
It was
on.
a lot of
Yes.
fun. You
Next
guys
time
do a
you're in the
nice job.
States, you're always welcome.
See you
Hey,
next
too,
year.
we're getting a phone for the studio. We have Skype. Don't care for Skype that much. We're getting a phone.
You can call
Yeah, you
in.
can call in. I don't know the time differential. 6 hours. So if
6 hours behind, right?
Ahead.
Ahead. Oh, yeah, ahead, yeah.
So-
it's 4 in the afternoon when you guys start. That's no problem.
Yeah, we'll get
Yeah.
a phone. You can call us in. We'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you, Faji.
Talk about soccer.
Don't
That's
call
football.
in.
You mean the real football?
Don't
My
call
opinion,
in.
You know,
About
we
that
rescinded.
game. I
Good
think
seeing.
it's-
Peter, do you have a score prediction for the game?
In my opinion about the Panthers Falcons, I think it relies on the defenses. If the Falcons can contain the Panthers to at least 20 points, which I don't think they can do, to win the game. Because Matt Ryan looked like he can only throw to one person last week.
Well, isn't this his off season?
Yeah.
He's on every other season.
Well, last
Thank
year was
you.
his
I've
off-
made that point every NFL season since we started recording in a kitchen. I have made that statement.
Because like last week,
It was
Sanu-
because it was. What was it? Sorry, not to interrupt you, Kyle, but it was when we first started recording. It was
I
in
remember.
the kitchen.
I remember.
At my old apartment, and we talked, and it was right after the Falcons had put together a great year, and I sat there and I said, in the recording, which is somewhere in the depths of all of our extra stuff that we've posted, I was like, the Falcons are going to suck this year, and that was the year that they fucking blew it. They were terrible.
They still made the playoffs.
No, not that
No.
year.
No.
Not that year. That was the
Oh,
last
you're
year
talking about the
before.
year before?
The year before
Year
their Super
before,
Bowl
Okay,
appearance.
I'm sorry.
They were absolute trash.
I thought you were talking about like.
And then the Super Bowl appearance in last year was the first time that they've put together on all aspects of the ball, put together 2 seasons in a row where they were actually decent altogether.
Right.
Real quick, Peter threw in his score prediction. He
Let
said
me guess. Cowboys 100, Giants 1.
He once again is only giving the opposing team one score. He says Dallas 21, Giants 7.
No.
Well, hold
Peter.
on. That could be 3 scores. What if they block 2 extra points, return them for 2 points, and then get a field goal?
Yeah.
I would be really ashamed of the Giants for being able to do that and then not put an offensive touchdown on the board. But, I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, I guess.
Back to what I was saying.
It's about as probable as the Steelers not going for a 2-point conversion this week.
They're going to.
Yeah.
But like the Matt Ryan last week, Calvin Ridley and Mohamed Sanu both couldn't get open. Like that was a big thing. Like,
There were targets. Not a lot. Not a lot for receivers of their caliber. I mean, Ridley, you don't really have a caliber for him, but potential caliber. And then Sanu, we know is caliber. But there were targets there. But I agree with Kyle. Like, if you go back and you actually watch the footage, there wasn't a lot of separation from them from their defenders.
like Jones gets open because it's Julio fucking Jones. You know what you're gonna get out of him. But I just think the Panthers are gonna be able to contain him. I think the Panthers are gonna blow it out of the water. I think the Panthers win 38-14.
Okay.
Dave, do you care to chime in at all in this game?
I'll go.
Well, we're going around the table. So, Uncle Bob.
Yeah, I'm looking at like 21-14, 21-17 again.
Carolina to win?
Yeah.
2017
Carolina?
Panthers.
I'm anticipating a shootout. I have Atlanta winning, however, 34-31.
I don't think it's going to be a shootout. I do think it's going to be a defensive struggle type thing. I think Matt Ryan finds a little bit more of his stride, but I still think there's going to be red zone struggles. I think Atlanta pulls it out, though, 28-24. And the reason I say it is because in the last 3 seasons, Matt Ryan has only lost back-to-back games 3 times. So let's move on to the real barn burner of Sunday football. Oh, sorry.
We're moving into our 4th and final.
I have
Czech
16
beer
ounces
tasting.
of this one.
Yeah, I didn't give you one because you already have it.
17.2 probably, right?
But this is like the Czech's like crown jewel, the Pilsner Urquell.
No, your dad's the Czech's crown jewel.
This is the original Pilsner. This is a fantastic beer.
Oh, hold on. Miller Lite is the original Pilsner.
Now they
when
sell
it's original brewing.
They sell Pilsner Urquell here in the States, but it is not the same.
Right. It's like Guinness, Heineken.
Yeah.
Like it's
a copy.
It's unbelievable.
It's exactly it. Pilsner Urquell, Guinness. Do you know how expensive Guinness would be if they actually imported all the Guinness that was sold in the United States? You know how much Guinness is sold? I work at a package store.
Well,
a lot.
What it is?
Oh yeah, but the problem with Guinness is that here in the States they serve it cold.
Yeah.
Over in Ireland, it's in cellar temperature.
Yeah, that's how Pilsner is over there.
God
also.
bless.
Bless you.
But the difference is
Again,
Bless you.
you're getting greedy.
That's it.
they don't sell Pilsner Urquell here in cans. Here it's in those green bottles.
Yeah.
So it has to travel, and it's in any beer in green bottles skunks.
Rolling Rock.
All of it.
The
Rolling
old
Rock,
Latrobe.
Heineken.
Heineken, no. Heineken doesn't skunk because it's already skunked when it's made.
But that's what I mean. Like they just don't hold up. But when I was the last time I was in the Czech Republic, I was lucky enough to go to the brewery, and because they age the Pilsner in the barrels. I forget for how long. But we got to like open one of the casks and drink out of it. That was cool. That was very good. The brewery was awesome. But the next game,
You know what you should do? Is,
Yeah. Next game. So, real quick, while we talk about the game, I'll lead off talking about it so you guys can check because I already checked mine. Just Rebecca, you too, go check your fantasy teams. Make sure that player that you picked got added to your team. Yeah. So next game is the real barn burner of Sunday football: the LA Chargers and the Buffalo Bills. I don't really think there's a lot to talk about. We said that last week with Tampa Bay and New Orleans, but I mean the Chargers they face a little bit of a deficit, losing. They don't have 2 of their best pass rushers in football, let alone on the Chargers team. Bosa's out again. It's looking like it's going to be a couple more weeks before he returns, which to me is a big bummer because I kind of had Bosa pegged as Defensive Player of the Year caliber year coming in. But
what is this game in LA?
This game is.
Oh, I think it's Buffalo.
In Buffalo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Yeah, it's in Buffalo. Yep.
I think the Chargers are gonna explode. If you have Chargers, play them.
I think I think they're going to explode. I don't think it's going to be as much of a lopsided victory as it was when the Ravens played the Bills, just because the Chargers have self-destructive tendencies. And I to be honest, I kind of expect a little bit out of the rookie coming in and getting his first start. I think he's going to make smart decisions because he knows what he's in for with this Bills team. Whereas Todd Bowles for the Jets, like when they went in and they did their thing last week, they went in and the Jets have always been a competitor mentality. The Jets came out swinging for the fences last year and looked like they might have put together a playoff spot when it came out. And in the games that they were losing, they still went in swinging for the fences every single drive. Buffalo, I think, is not going to be like that. They're going to dial it back, and I think that who do they have? Allen, right?
Josh Allen.
Yeah,
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen has one of the greatest safety blankets in football with LaShawn McCoy.
Yep.
Granted, people are going to be shadowing him left and right, but I think he's going to make smart, short decisions. I think he's going to put some drives together to move the football, even if it's only field goals. I do think the Chargers win, but like I said, self-destructive. I think the Chargers get out of there, though, with a 24-17 victory.
I think the Chargers win 28-12.
4 field goals?
4 field.
I hope so.
Hauschka sucks.
Hauschka, baby.
They're all going to be 19-yard field goals, though, so you're only going to walk away with 4 points.
35-9 Chargers.
It's Uncle Bob's turn, but good job.
Sorry.
Or Dave,
I'm
if he chooses to go.
28-14 in my pick.
Chargers?
In my opinion. Chargers, yeah.
30-10 Chargers.
I think
Buffalo's
we're
still
going to
not
see
there.
Melvin Gordon go bananas.
You hope that Melvin Gordon.
Big time.
I think Mike Williams has a big week.
All right, next game, intriguing. We got Minnesota at Green Bay.
Ooh.
Shout out to Sheehan alumni Valerie Lewis. She's at Lambeau right now. What? Shout it out. You guys don't want to Sheehan.
I didn't know why you were doing that.
No, she's in Lambeau right now.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, much more interesting now that we know Rodgers is cleared to play.
Is it though?
Yeah. It's
But
a
but I mean, he's hobbled.
But
and
are you seriously you're gonna sit here and say that you think it's the same level of competition and
No.
excitement if Kaiser plays over
no,
Rodgers?
no. But what I mean is, I don't think Rodgers makes it through the game. So
I agree with you. I think this could be the end of his season.
really, I think it's a bad move.
I think it's a
I
dumb
think
move.
Rodgers plays the whole season through injuries, and one of these turns out to be a big injury that causes him to miss time next season. I think Rodgers, and rightfully so, has a lot of pride and a lot of talent and whatnot. But, the Packers, Rodgers has proven, like he did against the Bears, that when he's on the field, the Packers are a Super Bowl contending team.
Yes.
And when he's not, they're a
bottom 5.
They're not bottom 5,
bad.
but they're not great. And I can see Rodgers struggling through to get through to the season to try to go for broke type of deal. Is it wise? No, but you just got to keep in mind too. Aaron Rodgers just worked out this extension thing. I mean, you got to think. I mean, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is a once in a lifetime quarterback, but you have a quarterback that you just gave all this money to, and now he's out for another season with an injury. You really start to look at.
But do you want to risk having him knocked out for the rest of the season? I don't. Not against Minnesota.
That's the point that I make. Is you gave this guy the money. I would give him this week. Give him that extra week to rest and let that knee heal.
I understand that, but I think it's different if they were playing New Orleans
Yeah,
or something
that's
like
true.
that.
It's a division
They
game.
have a chance right now in the beginning of the season. If Rodgers gets through the game, even if he gets banged up a little more, and they have to sit him for the next game, and they lose that game, they go into Week 4 with a healthier Rodgers at 2-1, but more importantly 2-0 in the division, and they walk away from it, causing two teams to be 0-1 in the division. They just made a huge case for themselves to be division champions. I understand that you want to have him there and keep him healthy and stuff like that, but sometimes the strategy goes above the quarterback's head into the GM race, and it's like I said, if they can pull out a victory with Aaron Rodgers, even if he gets a little bit more banged up and has to sit out Week 3, you're talking about being 2-0 in a division where the only team that's really going to give you a run for its money on paper is Minnesota. And now you're essentially up 2 games on them. You're up a game in the standings and a game in the division.
Real quick, only because this just popped up, the alert on Bleacher Report. During the warm-ups, he came out it says in a big knee brace with a ligament sprain, and he's in a lot of pain. So, I mean...
He's still going to play.
He's going to play.
Well, he's going to play. And I think it's the dumbest move the
He's going to be
Packers could
monitored
make.
hit by hit.
And this could cost McCarthy his job.
I mean, we saw last year. It was the Vikings that took Rodgers out last year.
That guy could afford a paycheck loss.
See, this is my thing with Aaron Rodgers. I don't think the Packers are going to allow him to get hit. I think this will be a big game.
Their offensive line isn't that good.
You're right.
Not against the Bears, and the Vikings are better than the Bears.
You're right, but I think
defensive line.
I disagree.
I think this is.
I think the Bears have a better defense. Sorry, Kyle. That's going to keep interrupting. I think the Bears have a better defensive line than the Vikings. The Vikings just have a much better and deeper secondary, which allows the defensive line to get more sacks and stuff like that. Talent-wise, I think the Bears have the best defensive line in football. I think they have the best front 7 in football. I really do.
They may.
But because
to be seen.
Because of the experience in the secondary and the depth in the secondary at talent for the Vikings, they can. It's kind of the reverse thing. You always hear the defensive line is so disruptive.
Better,
it makes the defensive backs look better because they don't have to cover for as long. Minnesota has defensive backs that can cover for long enough to give the front 7 more time to get to the quarterback.
Yes. And that's
it's weird, but it's because it's kind of reverse mentality for defenses. But all right, well,
go ahead.
So you do your thing real quick, and then we got to get.
Right,
we're only
my thing is this week. The Packers will not allow Aaron Rodgers to get.
I think they're going to. I agree with Kyle. I think what they're going to do is I think they're going to try to trickery with the run game.
Not even that.
Quick out passes with the speed that Cobb still has. Big guy and
that's
Jimmy Graham.
not how Rodgers plays.
Rodgers will be in a shotgun the entire game,
which is fine. I agree with that.
I think Ty Montgomery is going to have a huge game because of that.
I don't think Ty Montgomery is going to
because
play
he's
that
going
much.
he's going to be the guy that's going to be out of the backfield.
I don't think he's going to play that much.
Isn't he playing hurt?
I don't think Ty Montgomery's going to play that much. I think it's going to be the other guy. What's his name?
Jamal Adams?
Williams. No, I think Jamal Williams is going to play because Jamal Williams is by far a much better pass blocker.
Yes, but I think Montgomery's going to be the scat back. And that's why I think
I understand that. I think he's gonna have a big game for the snaps he has. But the thing is, it doesn't matter who on the Vikings defense comes through. Any any person out of those 11 people comes through, Montgomery will not be able to block them.
You'll see a lot of short throws today.
But the other side of it is Devontae Adams might not play.
You're right. I get that. But you know what? Geronimo Allison stepped up big when Aaron Rodgers needed him.
Okay.
He threw it to him 6 times in a row.
I agree. But like we just said, the Vikings have a good secondary to where they don't have to double cover anybody on the
You're right.
for the
And,
Packers.
but I just think a lot of short throws are going to happen.
I think if anybody on Green Bay has a big game, I think it's going to be Jimmy Graham. I think it's going to be a lot
Could
of 6, 7, 8-yard passes, and then they're going
Over
to try
the
to use
middle.
the run. Right, and it's going to be a lot of hook and laterals, out routes, short routes, things that Jimmy Graham's not accustomed to running. But Jimmy Graham, I don't give a shit what linebacker it is. Size wins battles a lot of the time, and he's a big boy that can take the hits.
And he's got hands that are magic.
He's still, I think, to me, still the best tight end in the game.
Not the game.
In my opinion. I know.
All right, let's go real quick. We got score predictions. We got
Packers 24-20.
Okay.
Wow.
Vikings 28-21.
Dave, you got one? No?
Vikings 28-17.
Vikings 2017. Low scoring affair.
Vikings 24, Green Bay 14.
I think Rodgers is going to be super out of his element. He's that short game is not how Rodgers plays.
They give him happy pills, dude. He's good to go.
But what Rodgers likes to roll out and
You
throw
got
the
to be
ball
careful with that, though,
downfield.
because that happens a lot in the NFL, and people get nailed for it in the offseason.
Yeah.
Well, just my opinion. I think Rodgers still plays phenomenal. But just my opinion. Aaron Rodgers is that type of quarterback. But no matter if he's down or if he's healthy, he's going to be fine.
But if he's doing that short game, it's out of his element.
You're right.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, he is good.
They give him televised, so we'll find out.
All right, Cleveland, New Orleans.
Ooh. All right, I'm going to go New Orleans 31-10.
Okay.
Cleveland 17-14.
I have New Orleans winning 34, Cleveland 17.
Uncle Bob, Cleveland, New Orleans.
I'd like to root for Cleveland, but I just don't see that happening.
Logic dictates more than anything.
I mean, Breeze he's on a mission this year.
He looked good.
Yeah, he looked good last week, and I think he's going to look good, and I think it's going to be something like 35-10.
I disagree. I got Cleveland winning 35-30. 35-30. And they're going to say all time, talking the existence of both teams. Cleveland's 13-4 all time against New Orleans, and they're 8-2 in New Orleans all time. They've only lost 4
History is
games
on
out
their
of 17 to New Orleans, and they've only lost 2 games in the Superdome. And the last time they played was 2014, and Cleveland put together a late drive to take New Orleans off the board.
It was 26-24.
One thing that this Cleveland team has that Cleveland has not had in a long time, they have the weapons to actually compete in a shootout if it gets to that point. If the New Orleans Saints defense, if they can show up like the defense we saw last year, then it's going to be a no-brainer for the Saints. But Cleveland also quietly has a decent defense. And I think with Tyrod and his mobility,
I just don't think it'll be a low-scoring game at all.
No, I don't think so either.
It's going to be a Jarvis Landry walk-off.
But I'm saying, Jarvis Landry is the receiver that every Browns quarterback for the past decade has needed. A over-the-middle, speedy, possession, good hands receiver that has his own ability to make plays. He's the only guy in the NFL that if someone told me, okay, it's 3rd and 6, and we're going to draw up a play where you're only going to get a 2-yard pass off, who are you throwing it to? Jarvis Landry. He's the guy that's going to get that ball and has the talent to get 5 or 6 more yards down the field on his own. He's got the speed. And
reminds me of Mark Bavaro.
He's very good. And I think...
I just think another big day from Drew Brees.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And Alvin Kamara.
That's what I'm seeing.
Good.
History, man. History.
Drew Brees is not going to lose 2 in a row.
Next game.
Miami Jets.
We go with the Jets. Darnold looked amazing last game.
I understand that, but he also played the Lions.
I don't think he looked amazing. I don't think he looked bad. He looked very good. He
Besides
impressed.
that first throw?
But he impressed us. But I think a lot of it also had to do with the Lions just could not get out of their own way.
I think the Lions looked past the Jets. I think the Lions looked at week 2.
I just don't want the Dolphins.
I think the Lions looked at San Francisco
love
as the
Tannehill.
toughest
Don't even
matchup they're going to
start.
have to deal with
I
in
don't see
week
him around
1.
it.
And I think the Lions they fell asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
They went into it on autopilot thinking that should be a walk-off against the Jets.
And they left Stafford in for way too long.
And my thing is, I think Miami wins this game. They got what's his face Parker back now for week 2.
I don't think so. I think I saw before that he's not playing. Devontae Parker?
He was cleared to play yesterday. He said he was playing yesterday.
I'll double check, but I think I saw that before. I may have missed it.
Either way, though, Stills murdered it. Amendola's a great over the middle route. Kenyon Drake's a good receiving back. And Tannehill
is an underrated quarterback.
He is when
in
he's
my
healthy.
opinion.
When he's healthy.
And he's
Devontae
healthy.
Parker inactive.
Okay,
I like the Jets defense. I like how
I like the Jets defense, but again, the Jets defense. I liked them against what Matt Stafford did. Matt Stafford's one of those quarterbacks, much like Ben Roethlisberger, that has the ability to throw 4 touchdowns and 765 yards in a game, but he also has the ability to throw 200 yards and 9 picks.
My opinion, I think the Jets win 13-10.
But let me ask you this: did Ben make the Browns' defense look a lot better than they are last year?
Yeah, 100%.
Matt Stafford did the same thing to the Jets.
Stafford was left in way too long.
Stafford played atrocious.
Yeah.
He made terrible. I mean, Stafford threw 2 picks that honestly, like, I don't even know if Jay Cutler would have thrown those balls. Like that, he made some bad throws.
He did. He was getting beat up real bad.
He got hit a lot.
I mean, we saw his knee get rolled. And Stafford, to me, is one of the toughest quarterbacks in the league.
He'll stay out there.
He stays out.
He'll take a beating. That's for sure.
But when things like that happen, like a Ben,
you gotta take
just
him out.
like a Ben, when you have a quarterback, he's getting beaten up, he's getting hit a lot, he's not making good throws. It doesn't matter how tough he is if he's not winning you the game. He's not doing his job.
When Stafford when he got sandwiched, when the guy had the helmet in his chest and he got hit from the behind, I thought he was coming out. I'm like, all right, the guy's already I think at the time he had 3 or 4 picks. This is the 3rd big hit he's took. Like, get him out of there.
Yeah.
Come back week, and they kept rolling him out, and it just wasn't good.
Well, I think first drive of the second half, he looked great.
I think Miami wins 31-20.
I said 13-10 Jets.
I like Miami. I think, in all honesty, that the quarterback the Jets have, their first-round pick, and he deserves to be because he is talented. I think the rookie woes are going to start.
Yeah, it's got to happen.
I think Miami has,
just like any of the the rookies.
In that division, I think Miami has the most potential to surprisingly dethrone the Patriots this year. Now, we know every year that's obviously like the thing. Like, no team in the AFC East has been able to do it for a long time. But when you add in Brady doesn't play well in Miami, if this team can stay hot enough for when that point comes around, if they can beat them, they can very easily beat the Jets twice, just like the Jets can beat them twice.
If Tannehill can stay healthy,
right? But if they can put
they've
together,
got a chance to upset him.
Yeah. What's your score?
And I'm picking Miami 24-17.
Jets 21-20.
KC Pitt.
Oh, he didn't go.
Oh.
I have the Jets winning. I think the defense plays well enough. Jets 23, Dolphins 19.
All right, KC Pitt.
Pittsburgh's real good at defending the fast receivers. That's one thing they're really good at. They're going to make Tyreek Hill obsolete.
In the receiving game.
Yes,
but that's also
they're also very bad on special teams.
Right.
No, not anymore. They're very good at special team play. They can't stop the run. That's the one thing that scares me.
They don't tackle well.
My thing is, I used to, even going into last year, I thought Hill was going to have a bad year last year because to me he was just a deep speed threat. But he's not. I mean, he's really developed good route running.
If we can stop the tight end, I think the Steelers win this game.
That's going to be I think Kelsey's the key to the game this week.
Well, like last week, he didn't like to throw to him. He threw it to the wideouts.
Well, we saw the whole preseason. I mean, Mahomes and Hill just have this connection,
and it worked last week.
And it worked.
This is what's going to make or break Mahomes as a quarterback, not this game specifically, but this decision making. Whereas if he tries to give Hill 7 targets in the first half of the game, and Hill only has 2 receptions for 38 yards,
you're going to keep going to him.
If he keeps going to him, then that's bad decision making, and that's what's going to.
The pass defense of the Steelers is better.
I'm not saying that Steelers defense is bad.
I'm just saying, in a general statement, the run defense scares me.
So,
Morgan Burnett is a big reason because he communicates.
If you take away Hill, I mean, I still think Kelsey's going to be able to get open. Hunt has a big day. I think Kansas City wins today.
I do.
Score?
21-17.
Where's the game being played?
In Pittsburgh.
I would take Pittsburgh. I'm 20-7.
Wow.
I think Pittsburgh wins because they're at home. They're pissed off. because of the tie last week, I think they win 21-3. I think Mahomes just has a shutdown week.
He could. I mean, he very well
He's
could.
the type of quarterback that's going to have a big week or have a bad week. There's no in between with him.
Well, we don't know that yet.
It's just my opinion.
Yeah,
Who
okay.
you got, Bob?
I'm looking at 21-18, Kansas City.
I have Pittsburgh winning 28-27. Very slow start, both teams' first half.
Such a homer.
But I expect a huge second half for both teams. I think it's going to be slow on both sides. Ben going to have a slow start, but picks it up.
KC 42, Pittsburgh 38.
Oh, wow.
I think it's a shootout both ways. Ben comes back swinging from 3 picks.
Browns have a big day.
Ben comes back swinging from 3 picks. Ben's going to come out and be on a day game.
Because nobody...
But I think I agree. I think Kareem Hunt's going to have a big day, both rushing and receiving.
Yeah.
And I think that Kelsey's going to be a problem for the defense.
Hunt's going to tear up the middle of that defensive line.
And I think Kelsey is going to with up the middle routes. I think
Uh,
they are
And
much
then
better.
what's going to happen is they're going to have to pull more men to the line, and that's when they'll kill Kelsey right down the middle.
I think the Steelers have a much more improved pass defense, but they're still, in my opinion, undersized in the defensive back position. And the linebackers aren't experienced or fast enough to keep up with.
And the
Kelsey.
linebackers are going to have to cheat to the line
TJ Watt's
because of
gonna have a
Hunt.
big day, too. He's playing on the right side where he belongs. They
All right,
switched
we
him and
got
Bucky.
to keep going.
who's we got?
Philadelphia, Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay blows Eagles out of the water today. I don't like Philadelphia's team at all right now.
I agree with you. I don't like the team either, but Nick Foles just finds ways to win.
I think Tampa Bay wins 31-10.
All right. Uncle Bob? Kind of got to rapid fire these, unfortunately.
24-21.
Any specific reasons?
Not really. It's just I see basically the first half is going to be tight, and the second half is going to be scoring.
Who did you have winning?
It's a toss-up. I don't care. I think it's going to be that much of a tight game.
Dave?
Tampa.
Tampa, Philly.
I'll take Tampa just because I hate Philly that much.
I want Tampa to, but I think Philly wins 24-21.
That's
Foles is going to drive at the end.
I have Tampa 26-21. Fitzmagic continues.
26?
26.
That's gross.
Listen, you
They're
guys
gonna get a
just have, this
safety,
is the NFL today. Odd scores happen all the freaking time.
I know. It's just so funny to hear.
Tampa Bay 24, Philadelphia 18. Just to throw a weird score in there.
There we go. Thank you for joining.
5.
Houston, Tennessee, battle of the winless teams in the AFC
Houston
South.
destroys Tennessee.
Let's go Nuck.
I don't.
Do you know
think
what Tennessee's game plan coming in here was?
Blaine
Don't
Gabbert
lose.
starting.
No. Mariota's starting.
I just read Gabbert might start even with Mariota active.
I think Mariota still starts, but they said that we're going to probably give equal reps to both quarterbacks. So Houston wins.
Yeah, by a lot.
Yeah. I think Houston wins.
And I think Watson
And-
last season had that 5 touchdown performance against Tennessee.
yeah, you did.
I think he's still off to a slow start,
Also
though.
Seattle.
I think he's still off to a slow start, though. I think that Houston wins, but I think they win 17-10.
I think Houston won 24-0. I just don't like anything from Tennessee. No
I
Delaney
think
Walker,
Tennessee is down to the
quarterback
third-string
hurt.
quarterback.
They're gonna stack that box. No, Derrick Henry or Deion Lewis can't do nothing.
24-12.
Houston 35-14.
Houston 33-13.
I just love Houston.
Homer.
Colts, Redskins.
I love that Redskins team. I do.
Redskins 34, Colts 13.
I think Redskins 31, Colts 24.
That's also the score I have, Kyle.
I love that Redskins team. I really do.
I do too.
Alex Smith takes care of the ball.
Yeah, that's true.
Alex Smith takes care of the ball, and he puts together time-chewing drives. Especially when you, like, now that he has a running back like Adrian Peterson versus a Kareem Hunt, where you give the ball to Adrian Peterson, he hits the gap. It's either the only time it's going to be a longer, exaggerated time play is if it's going to the house for a touchdown. Otherwise, it's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yards up the middle, off to the side, whatever, between the tackles, the guards, whoever. Whereas, like, with Kareem Hunt, it's like, oh, okay, we're just going to give you, like, a little dink and dunk pass in the backfield, but then Kareem Hunt has the
Chris
speed
Thompson's
to...
going to have a big day, too.
And I like the fact that Washington goes downfield more.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a guy who can drop the ball right where he
Yeah.
wants it. And I didn't understand why Kansas City didn't do that when they had him. They did it the first 3 or 4 weeks.
Washington all day.
Yeah, I think Washington wins. 24-14.
Oh, I didn't give a score. I'm looking at 35-12.
L.A., Arizona, Rams, Arizona.
Rams.
Arizona upsets.
What?
Where's the game?
In L.A.
Arizona
Well,
upsets.
Wherever the hell that Rams play. Do they play in L.A.?
I think the Rams
Yeah.
are playing. Are they the ones playing at UCLA?
Yeah. Sounds right.
You think Arizona upsets?
17-14. Conference game.
It is. That's right. I mean, you can't
Yeah.
ever predict those. Uncle Bob?
I'm looking at 24-21, LA.
Close game, too?
Dave? I think the Rams win 28-17.
The same score I had.
Ram.
28-17, but I think David Johnson.
I think David Johnson.
I think David Johnson has both touchdowns.
Yep.
One receiving.
I think
one,
Brandon
one
Cooks is
rushing.
going bananas.
Rams roll on 30-14.
David Johnson, though?
49ers
touchdown.
Lions.
Say it again.
49ers Lions.
I think Lions pull it out today. I think they figure it out. 21-20.
Oh God, no. What?
Where's the game being played?
San Fran. I don't give a shit who wins this game. I don't
I think
really
it's gonna be
honestly
high
I don't
score.
have a winner, but I think the winner of this game wins like 49-45. Neither of these teams have a defense.
Right.
You can tell me the Lions have a defense?
No, I'm saying 21-20, though. It's not really a low-scoring game.
It is in today's
That's
NFL.
not-
It is, Kyle.
Today's NFL.
Kyle,
That's
yeah.
a 41 over under.
3 touchdowns. So if the Steelers put 3 touchdowns, you don't think that they scored an average amount of points?
I just
How
think
much did the
21-20.
Jets put up in the first quarter last
That's
week?
not low scoring. 21-20 is not low.
That's a
it's not high
41 point
scoring.
over under. That's like average in today's NFL.
Just see it being 21-20.
No, that's
No,
fine.
I understand that. But we're arguing
not
with you
saying
that,
your
that
score's
it's a
wrong.
low scoring game
That's a low scoring game.
We'll find out.
for 2 teams with no defense.
Uncle Bob.
I'm thinking this one could be like 45-38.
42,
And I'm going to pick the Niners.
42-35, Garoppolo.
Niners are going to win by 3 points.
Doesn't matter the score. Just 3 points.
Just 3
103 to 100.
Or 3-0.
49ers 35-30. Real quick, just want to shout out Hold My Beer. Is that Ty's team?
That's Vinny.
Vinny, Garoppolo's Pizza is serving a slice of defeat to you today. So be ready. Yeah, bring it over. You may have burnt the crust last week.
Oakland, Denver.
This could be a tough one.
Tie.
Ugh.
I think for this one, I think Denver pulls it out. I think they win 21-20. I think Carr kind of finds his rhythm a little bit. I think Case Keenum also kind of bounces back. I just don't think he has as much productivity in terms of like touchdowns. I think he gets the yards. But I see Oakland winning 21-20. Carr 3 touchdowns, over 300 yards.
I'm going with Denver 17-10.
Should be like this game's either
It
going to
could
be
be
like
one of the most boring games
it's
of
either
the
going to be
week.
super boring or the most exciting game.
I agree. It's going to go either way, and I think it's going to tend towards the boring.
I'm going to go with the better quarterback. Derek Carr is going to win.
Watch your mouth.
Derek Carr. Not the Raiders. Derek Carr. 2013.
You going with the better quarterback?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Of the 2 who played in the championship game last year, thank you, Mach.
Keenum sucks.
Keenum doesn't suck. I think the Raiders are going to win, and I think this is going to be where we see Cooper figure it out.
Martavis Bryant.
I think Gruden's going to find a way to lose.
Oh God, can you imagine him going 0-16?
That'd be awesome.
Wouldn't that be great?
I'd love it.
But I do. I think we're going to see Cooper make it happen today. I say Raiders 21, Broncos 13.
Broncos 2010. Carr makes another bonehead mistake late.
Just because there were too many 1:00 games and they needed to put this game on national television, New England and Jacksonville, 2 East Coast teams playing at 4:25. for America's Game of the Week.
Yeah.
Just the ratings really needing to just fuck everyone up. So you got New England, Jacksonville.
New England 24-7.
21-4?
24-7.
21, 24-7. 21, 24, 21, 27.
25 or 6-4.
Yeah.
So could you give me an
Sitting
actual
cross-legged
score
on the
win?
floor.
24-7 New England.
Okay, thank you. Uncle Bob?
I think this could be an upset. I think Jacksonville could pull this one out, and I'm saying 24-21. No Brady magic in the last 2 minutes.
Always Brady magic.
I
At
think
42, yeah.
In the AFC Championship games.
I think the Jaguars avenge the championship game, and they win 28-17.
New England 37-20.
Just marry Brady already.
27-24 Jacksonville. But I think that score could be flipped for New England. I think it all lives and dies on Yeldon.
Yep.
And last, but certainly not least, Monday night, the Bears versus the Seahawks.
Bears win 2017.
2018.
Bears win 28-24.
I think this is going to not be a fun game to watch because the Seahawks are terrible. But I think the Bears win 28-7.
Wow.
Uncle Bob, doesn't matter. This
20,
is the big fans what we've gotten so far.
24-14.
Bears?
And Bears, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. The Bears 486-3.
That's in the first quarter.
The Pope slots in at quarterback, throws Hail Mary to Jesus.
Yeah.
No, I think the Bears win 31-17. But I think they get off to a slow start. I think they really ramp it up in the second half. I think they learned from their mistake from last week. And I think the player of the game is Khalil Mack again.
I think we're going to see Trubisky airing it out. I think
Good.
They're going to let him go.
Let him throw
Let
the
him start
fucking
throwing.
football.
Allen, baby.
This guy's got an arm like I can't believe.
He can throw. He's got a good football mind. I think they're going to let him loose this week.
Good.
And this is a good time to do it. I mean, Seattle's been priding off their defense,
You know what,
but
though?
it's not the same as it
They
was.
still got Russell Wilson. I hate him, but he's still a good quarterback.
Yeah, but Russell Wilson.
But there's no line, there's no running back, and there's
And
no
the-
receivers.
and
Making it work, all right?
there's
He
Khalil
scored
Mack.
24 points last week.
Yeah, but the Bears have very, very fast defensive ends.
I'm not saying that. I just
Much faster than the Broncos have.
Russell Wilson.
Von Miller might be the best in Von Miller might be the best in the game at getting to
I-
the quarterback, but Khalil Mack's the best in the game at containing the quarterback.
I love Russell Wilson. I think he's very talented, but he has nothing around him to help him escape.
And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we see 30% of the snaps, if we see Hicks, Goldman, Floyd, and Mack let loose at the quarterback, and we see Roquan Smith just sitting back there waiting for Wilson
a free
to
pick.
try to
Yeah.
not even a pick, just to waiting to try to break past the line because Smith's got a lot of speed.
He'll-
Or if they might blitz Smith and let Floyd be because Floyd's really fast.
I'm hoping that they start Smith this week.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, I mean, I can never say his name right. Kwiatkowski
Yeah.
is
Polish guy.
okay.
Yeah.
He's okay, but he doesn't have the speed.
Right.
And I mean, Roquan showed that last week when he was on the field. He made a difference.
Beer reviews real quick. We're already 3 minutes past the deadline.
That's okay.
I made it
We
a point to
started
say,
late.
yeah, but I was like, we end at 1. We didn't end at 1. Beer reviews. So not you, Mach. Kyle, what did you think of the G-Bot real quick?
G-Bot sucked. All the Czech beers were fantastic.
I just want to say Kyle has no appreciation for any IPAs
That's not true.
whatsoever.
Other
He
than
loves
Too
Too
Juicy.
Other than
Juicy.
Too Juicy?
No, he
Well,
loved Jungle Juice.
All right, so
He likes juicy IPAs.
He likes the juicy citry. See,
I also
I
hate
think
G-Bot.
the Pilsner Urquell is my favorite of the four. So I like Gambrinus. I like it too, but I got to give it to Pilsner Urquell.
Mach Sr.
Chair sunk again.
Like that we were able to do the Czech beer show because these beers are very special to me. I like them all a lot, but to me the Gambrinus is king.
That was the third one?
Yes, the third one.
Yes, I preferred that one too. It had a little heartier flavor.
Yeah.
Okay. The rest of them were kind of lightweight pilsners.
Yeah.
This had some body to it, and I like that.
Yeah, Tampa Bay's already up 7-0. But I'm gonna go ahead and look at what happened there real quick.
Beer. Oh, you did yours. Uncle Bob, do you have any plugs? Anything coming up?
Do mine.
Well, this Friday, I'm actually playing 2 gigs this Friday. One is at from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Rough Draft here in Hamden.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm scooting over to Z's Corner and opening for Heather's birthday bash.
That's right. That's what Peter was talking about.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, 75
rushing
yards.
touchdowns. Oh,
Just to Deshaun Jackson.
he's playing?
Deshaun Jackson?
Yeah. Huh. That's the show Peter was talking about before,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
It's going to be
That we're
broadcasted
we're
here.
broadcasting it live on PPRN.
So be sure to check that out.
Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick's 1 for 1 for 75 yards. You fucking God. That's the only play Tampa Bay's ran.
Be sure to find us on Facebook and Instagram at Getting Sports with Drunk. Twitter is GSWD_4.
Make sure to follow us on. Oh, yeah, I fucked that whole thing up. I was enthralled by the score. Make sure to use the hashtag GSWD for all your daily uses, whether it's hanging with assholes or drinking Gambrinus.
Subscribe on Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. Pretty much anywhere you can find podcasts.
There we go.
We're here on the PPRN Radio Network every Sunday from 10 to 1 p.m. Thank you, Dave and Bob, for coming down.
Thanks for the
Yeah,
invite.
Mach
having
Sr.
us.
Yeah, and my dad. Already left.
Yeah.
That was cool.
So listen to it in Czech later.
We'll have Kyle translate.
Yeah. But next week, we're going to hopefully have a couple more guests on, and we're going to talk some more football. Also going to get ready to start talking about some of the NHL and NBA season, getting ready to tip off /
And you're moving closer and closer to the World Series.
Yep, that's true. Yep. We didn't talk a lot of baseball today. I know you're excited for that, Bob. I'm sorry. We'll get you back on when we get the postseason going.
Oh, that's
Souls,
cool.
and when we have Jeff here, and I'm not that good for baseball. Paul Konerko for the win.
I just don't understand how the Cubs are keeping going with all the injuries they've had.
They got the momentum.
Well, there's this guy
City's
that's
in the red zone.
Mad. I don't know, Joe something or another.
Joe Madden.
He's kind of pulling rabbits out of hats.
Yeah.
Hey.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
That's
how
right.
it wins. We'll be back in a few weeks for Uncle Bob to talk Cubs.
Yeah.
In the postseason.
There we go.
Dave, we're gonna have you on again. Talk about the Giants when they're 5-1.
Okay.
That'd be really cool. Yep. And then we'll have you on again at the end of the season when they finish the season 5 and.
We didn't talk any basketball today either, so.
Yeah, it's a tough time because it's just early enough.
I'm excited about the Bulls season this year. I'm hoping that maybe Jabari Parker can learn how to play small forward.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't, he's not going to get a lot of court time.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Very true.
Till next week.
Yeah, till next week. We'll be a short show in terms of original personalities. Just the Red Baron and myself.
Yep.
So we'll talk throwback jerseys.
That's right. Rita's always here.
She won't be here next week. You're riding with me, remember?
That's right.
That's right.
We changed it up.
But until then, I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler.
I'm Mach.
Sheen Washable.
Nope.
Mojito.
That's Dave and Bob.
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm the Red Baron.
No.
Yeah.